Oh, damn it. Actually like had this like false thing where like they have the reputation for like sharing details about sex. I feel like that's not true. I feel like we just say to one another like, oh, I got laid last night and that's it. Women go in on the details.
Oh, my wife has told me.
I still have jizz in my collarbone. Like,
I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. You said that so straight face. She has told me like I was at work today and we were talking
I wasn't talking about
like,
your wife, just in case she listens to this. Let's be clear. Just building sort of a foundation for a friendship. So I was not talking about your wife. She really is.
No, she's wonderful. Nice. No, I mean, how about if your brother-in-law starts to tell you about anal? How would that make you feel? Because that's happened to me.
Ooh. Make me feel like I'm glad that I'm an only fucking child.
He was obviously doing it just to fuck with me, but he was serious. We're in the car. He goes, yeah, dude. So I had they had been married for like 4 years at this point.
We're talking about Bob, right?
Oh yeah, we're talking about Bob. You know Bob.
Okay.
So they had been married for like 4 years. So we're driving around getting coffee, and he goes, dude, I finally got anal last night. And I went, and for a second I was like, oh yeah, and then I was like, no. Dude, he knew what he was doing.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Dude, my cousin got married. This was years ago. It was like 15 years ago. My cousin got married, and me and her brother and the groom-to-be were like walking along the beach, and he was talking to her, which obviously is his future brother-in-law, and he was like, yeah, man, now that we're not using protection, I just emptied a whole bottle of Elmer's glue all over your sister's belly. And I was like, holy shit, dude, what the fuck? Yeah, that's a true story.
I just like saying Elmer's glue.
I mean, there's so many worse things he could have called it, like anything that actually means cum. You know what I mean? Like, oh man,
it's pretty great. I have to make
you can imagine how long it would take to empty a bottle of Elmer's glue.
Oh no, your hands would hurt. Your hands would get tired.
Yeah, you'd be squeezing all afternoon. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he probably was on his future wife to be too. Just dumping hot loads all afternoon. How you boys doing? How you feeling? Where you been?
Doing all right, man. Hi, the question is, Chris, how are you doing? You always ask us.
Yeah, it's
but does
true.
anybody ever ask you how you're doing?
We never return it back to you. That's true.
Yeah, how are you doing, Chris?
How have you been?
I've been lost. No, my wife asks me how I'm doing all the time. It's lovely. I'm doing great. I'm sleepy boy today. Sleepy boy panda. Yeah. It's been a long day. It was a long night. Turned into a long day. You know, I can't complain. What's some other random shit I can say? Same shit, different day.
There you go. Like work responses. Like, nah, I'm hanging in. You know.
Yeah, but it's almost Friday, right? So we got that going for us.
I feel like you're doing that thing that like you do with coworkers, where you politely don't really give them any specifics about how you're actually doing. It's like, oh, same old.
Yeah,
and you move on.
Yeah, man.
It's because you just can't wait for the conversation to be over.
Yeah. I have to tell you guys a story. Since we're warming up and are very well known at this episode 32, by the way, we're not getting in. I'm not saying welcome yet, but Jesus, I was thinking about it the other day. We really laid down some loads here. As I was thinking about the warm up conversation, I realized that ever since, and people might not know this, but Derek basically held my arm behind my back and made me watch Goldmember like a week ago, and it has been stuck in my head ever since. I swear to God, I will randomly get the urge to go, Walter Matthau. Like after a sentence, just randomly say like a actor's name in a movie that they were in or something, just something really uncomfortable. Eat a skin flake. I don't know about if that's ever been a thing you wanted to do.
It's like that movie is still, we watched it like a year ago and we were really like, oh man, what if it's like one of those movies that's just, when you're a kid, you think it's hilarious, but it's fucking dumb when you're an adult. Oh my God. No, dude. It is such a fucking hilarious movie from the beginning till the credits roll. It's incredible. Cannot recommend enough.
I found that the physical humor still got me. And that's rare. Typically, I mean, I know I'm childish. We joke about never maturing past the age of 13, which is mostly true. But like, typically the physical humor is the thing that goes first in a movie. I would say over time, you're like, okay, it's only so many times I can watch somebody get tripped. But watching Mike Myers swing around a bag, a pillowcase, which is supposed to be mini-me, into everything around the room and just like breaking windows and knocking over. I was wheezing. I was like,
Yeah.
I was waiting to hear you and Scott start commentating in my ears because I was crying so hard. You've conditioned me to expect.
Oh
that.
yes.
Just like instilled some just PTSD in you about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
That'd
it,
help,
though.
buddy.
Golf talking with Derek and Scott.
You're way better at golf talking than I am, though. Like, listening to you golf talk on the playbacks had me sobbing, and I'm like, oh, I'm just ruining it. I'm just talking over him. What am I doing?
Derek's the lead commentator. That's for sure.
Yeah,
He's
100%. Yeah.
got the sultry tones. You can't really beat that.
I would say that you're the John Madden of Chris laughing commentating. Which I know it sounds like an insult, but I mean it as a compliment.
Yeah, I'm really sweaty all the time too, so that actually makes sense. Tracks.
I should probably take the thing is, I'm saying you're the John Madden because that's the only big name like sports announcer I could even think of besides Harry the K. And I only know Harry the K because he died, and everyone in Philadelphia acted like he was their grandpa when it happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, people were like, "Oh man, rip Harry," right? I'm like, I've never heard you mention him one time.
Yeah.
You never even heard a rumor about that fucking guy.
Yeah, did you
until
guys
he
have
died.
matching tattoos? Like, did he show you your favorite pizza spot? Shut the fuck up.
Say your favorite.
Yeah, like. I came to the realization today, guys, that Philadelphia is an absolute shithole, and I hate it.
Okay.
This is coming of someone who lived in the city for almost 8 years. Remember back in the 70s when the army like bombed an entire like half a block of row homes?
Oh no.
I do. Continue.
Derek's I don't know has me a little unsure if I should finish my sentence. They should have just kept going, just block by block, street, evacuate and burn to the ground. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
No, you
It's a
made
shithole.
it fine. You said evacuate first.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I wasn't good at first though,
No,
because it's also full of garbage people.
I was gonna say, isn't it what the people that make it a shithole, or were you actually?
I saw an entire the entire remains of a rotisserie chicken on the sidewalk, but like kind of like on the crosswalk. I stopped thinking it was an animal for a second today. I was like, what the
well,
fuck is
technically
going
it
on?
was.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
Scott, it was an animal.
Past
Don't
tense,
be
yeah.
insensitive. Philly really is a piece of shit. It's just a piece of shit with great food.
Yeah,
Excellent food.
Yeah. And when you don't smell the shit flowing beneath it, like the river of slime from Ghostbusters 2,
right.
when you're on one of those corners that smells like pizza or cheesesteaks or I don't know, dim sum, it's fucking incredible. And the thing is, Philly, like especially West Philly, has some of the best food I've ever had in my entire world. There's a place, guys, when it's normal to sit down again. It's called Kilimanjaro. It's on 43rd and I want to say Chestnut, and it's BYOB and it is West African food. It is so fucking great.
Okay. Into. Hey, can I ask you guys a question? When I rub my beard across my microphone like this, do you hear
Totally
it?
can hear it. Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm gonna hear it when I mix.
Okay, because I do it with my mustache too, and I just didn't know if that was something everybody could hear.
Can you do the mustache again without talking?
Yeah. Right. No, I'm actually not getting it.
Oh, so I can do the mustache. Okay, mustache is fair
You're
play.
basically giving us digital mustache rides right now.
It just feels good.
Oh, it tickles. Me too. All right, boys. I'm warmed up. I'm ready to go. Can we go?
Let's do
I got
it.
things
Let's
to
do
ask
it.
you.
Let's get it
Ready?
done.
Welcome to the Cynical Nerd. This is episode 32 of the Cynical Nerd. Title forthcoming somewhere in what will eventually be a shit show of very borderline terrible jokes. Derek, how are you doing on this fine Thursday? It's a weird one.
It is a weird one. Yeah, it's. I'm doing good. I got a steroid shot in my hip, and so 1/4 of my body feels great. The rest still feels just terrible. Like it's just dragging me behind. But my left leg is really just doing a lot of the heavy lifting at this point. I'm having my son this weekend, so super excited about that.
Hell yeah.
Super nervous about that too. I have not stopped sweating for all week for like 5 days now. The sweat is just constantly, like, even when it's ice cold, sweat, more sweat, more sweat. I wipe it away, more sweat. Doesn't stop.
The fact that you're this excited and this nervous means that you're going to be a fucking incredible dad, dude.
Yeah, we're very happy for you.
I was talking to my dad last night, and he's like, "It'd be a lot weirder if you weren't worried, right?" And I was like, I know that makes sense, but I don't believe you. I know you're just trying to make me feel good right now.
No, he's right. I mean, obviously, it doesn't make you feel any better. It's like
no, not at all. But I know there's wisdom in there.
He's literally saying you should be worried.
Yeah.
That makes you normal. So just sit in that worried state until it happens, and then you'll be fine.
Sit there full of sweat, and then sweat.
As long as you don't get sweaty palms and drop the baby, you're fine.
Of course. Oh shit. Oh god. Don't say that. God damn it. Now before they hand it, I'm gonna be like, hang on, just let me. Hang on.
I
got a warning about this.
Doctors, do you have a towel that I can borrow? I get a towel off.
Well, they're gonna wrap him in a towel before they hand. They're just gonna hand you a wet baby. He's gonna be wrapped in a towel when you get him.
Here we didn't get all the pussy stuff off him yet, but you just did.
It's like the instance in BFA we were running where you gotta catch the hog, right? Someone's gonna catch the slippery hog. Yeah, he said that.
Rod's gonna be like in recovery listening to this episode of the podcast. She's gonna smack you.
She's
You'll be like reading on your Kindle or something.
She's in the shower right now. It's the only reason I got away with that one.
She's gonna be like, did you just say pussy stuff? That's fantastic. And then the name, of course, is gonna be
David Copperfield Ryle.
You're such a piece of shit, Scott. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I would just like to say though, the balls it takes for Chris to gasp at my rooftop bombing in Philly joke after the name of last week's podcast. Oh my god.
What was wrong with the name of last week's podcast?
I'm just talking about pizzas. Just a couple of guys who like some slices.
I totally forgot about that name. Yeah, okay.
I also got to say the Matt Damon came out really well. I was pleasantly surprised with the Matt Damon.
Yeah, the Matt Damon looked really. It came in clutch.
It's very weird. Yeah. The weird little things take longer than you expect. I was like, I just got to turn Matt Damon into a demon. That shouldn't be that hard. And then I worked on it for like 45 minutes. Just that. Usually thumbnails take me like 15 minutes tops. I'm like, boop, boop, throw this in there. But I was like, I got to turn the shade of his skin. I got to find some horns I can cut out. It was a lot of work, boys.
Yeah. I think it's some of your finest work, and I'm very proud of you.
I don't know about good. All that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you both saying that. Really, it means a lot.
We appreciate you too. Just kindness all around. Here at the Central Nerd.
Is anybody else in their feelings because Derek's about to be a daddy? Because I feel like a little verklempt, like Mike Myers on an SNL bit that wore out its welcome decades ago. It's just. I'm so excited for you, man.
I know. I really am. Like all jokes aside, I am super excited. It's like every step of the way it becomes more and more real, right? Like at the beginning, it's just you get handed a fucking pregnancy test that has 2 lines on it, and it's like, we're pregnant, we're having it, but it means nothing at that point. And then it's like you hear the heartbeat and you see the ultrasound and you see like it's just like every step of the way it just gets more and more real and more exciting. And now it's like I'm literally 48 hours away from meeting my son. Like I'm just like beside myself. I can't wait.
Okay, if you're 48 hours from her getting induced.
Well, yeah, of course, right. Yeah.
If that's, I didn't want to say anything in front of Ron, but that was a rough process for Samantha.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have literally friends who like sometimes it takes like a day, like 30 hours or whatever. I had a friend who went there and like that shit fell out of her pussy in like 15 minutes. It was just done, boom. So we're hoping for that one.
I hope that is Ron's
baby.
I hope that's Ron's fate. Samantha had a hard time. I mean, they're literally forcing your body to go into labor. So like the medicine and then shit that like literally makes you cramp up. She like didn't get a wink of sleep for like a day and a half before he showed up. It was rough. But this is not supposed to be the pregnancy cast. So
I mean, it can be. It could be just a full 2 hours talking about.
Surprise! I'm just giving you some newborn dad advice. Don't hold the baby when he's wet. That's all I got for you. It's all
make sure they get all the pussy stuff.
Yeah, wipe the pussy stuff off first. Yeah, that makes sense.
Bring like a towel that you're okay losing.
Yeah, when
they don't have any towels at the hospital. You gotta bring your own.
We had some sick nurses who literally like stuffed our to-go bags with like a bunch of blankets and shit. Look for one of those. Just like, hey, you a sick nurse? Are you a sick ass nurse?
I thought you meant like a nurse that was coughing. I'm like, oh, that's
no.
You gotta find a nurse who's clearly like always on a bender and just barely scraping by, and just give her a couple little airplane bottles of booze.
Oh, God.
She'll hook you up with everything. Like nurse, find your nurse Jackie, and she'll hook it the fuck up.
Right. Just throw her a couple nondescript
Palmer
pills.
a fifth of JD, you know. Yeah.
I want to call to attention 2 things. One, I said I know I said Thursday already when I was talking to you, Derek, but just to give everyone's attention, we are recording this early. We talked about recording it early last week, but as a reminder, this is probably still going to go up normal time. It's probably still going to go up Sunday, Monday. But we're recording this on Thursday, which means if something happens tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday, it's not going to be in this episode, and I'm so sorry. But yeah, babies come first. So fuck.
And you
guys.
know what's going to be like Saturday? Like Zack Snyder's going to be like, yeah, we restored the Snyderverse, and we can't talk about it for a fucking week. That's exactly what's going to happen.
The Spider-Man trailer is apparently supposed to drop like any day now, so it could very well be. I mean, I don't know. It's more infamous at this point than something I'm looking forward to. But
yeah,
I read a rumor today that like Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is going to be the main bad guy, and see,
Sounds terrible.
My peen went limp, and his probably went a little harder. A little notches towards the top of the scoot scale. Scott, what's going on with your background?
Oh, I have dummy thick Velmas. They're twins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't a twin threesome kind of weird though? Like, isn't that incestuous?
Oh, I'm not fucking them. They just do my laundry and eat up Hot Pockets and.
I mean, sometimes
there's lots of macaroni noises in this house, but they're actually making me Easy Mac when you hear them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a loving. It's like a platonic twin thing. I don't know what you would call it.
What do you mean you're not fucking them? When they get stuck in the dryer, how do you get them out?
We called the fire department, and those brave young men fucked them out of the dryers for me.
Oh, okay.
You know what I was thinking the other day? You know how they say good sex sounds like macaroni and cheese? What does bad sex sound like? I've never
heard that before.
Really? No, that's not just me. That's
100% a meme. That's why I said macaroni noises. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I feel like it's macaroni salad is what bad sex sounds like.
I think bad sex just sounds like one long continuous fart that never ends until somebody leaves the room or somebody finishes.
Putting in what?
Oh,
Putting
no.
in a boot?
Putting in a boot?
I hate that. That's a Ron submission for you.
Ooh, a boot stuck in the mud is what bad sex sounds like. You ever stepped in mud when your kid is like...
Yeah, and it's like half dried. Ooh, yeah.
I'm going to say rubbing wet lettuce together. I just made something up.
I know you hate lettuce, but I've never heard the sound of wet lettuce a rustling.
Yeah, I don't know that I have either.
Yeah, it was so obscure that I just loved it just for that reason.
Exactly. I was like, this sounds weird. I'll just throw this out there, see what happens. All right, let's get started. We have some week in review news. We have a couple main topics for discussion. And I'm going to start off with talking about an old bag of shit that I never thought it would see the light of day. That's Indiana Jones 5, starring old bag of shit himself, Harrison Ford. Apparently it's starting filming in the UK next week. I gotta be honest, I saw this article. I think Scott put this in here, but I saw this article and I thought to myself, maybe I'll put this in the doc just so that we can all talk in exasperation about how long this movie we've been told it's coming for. Like, it's been years, right? That we've been said that they're working on Indy 5. And I was like, it's not gonna fucking happen.
Yeah,
Harrison
like
Ford's,
a decade.
Harrison Ford's way too old. He'll be dead by the time you get the cameras rolling. And here it is. It exists. And like Mads Mikkelsen is in it and shit.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, he's gonna play a Nazi 100%. Yeah. That guy's got a face that's meant for Highland.
For my
for the Third Reich.
Yeah. Oh no.
He's a great actor. He's excellent.
He really is. He's absolutely.
He's the only thing about this that I find interesting so far, honestly. But again, I never saw any of the Indiana Jones movies. I get the gist of them. I know enough.
We gotta fix that. At some point,
we were supposed to do the watch-alongs. I mean, it's gonna be a little tighter coming up with Baby Ryle time. But I mean, look, I know I'm the eternal optimist. I'm going to go ahead and say I hope it's a banger. It's clearly going to be Ford's last one. There's no way. He's already ancient. He was ancient in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
What you see?
You mean like his last Indiana Jones movie, or just his last moments on film?
Right.
Yes.
I'm just gonna fucking take him out back and execute him after this.
Yeah.
Like, we're actually done with you now.
Okay, so we have some good news and some bad news. Good news is last day of filming on Indiana Jones. Yay! Everybody claps. Like, bad news is Harrison Ford was taken out back and shot after we were finished, and everybody's happy about it.
That's not the way I was going with that at all. You guys took that.
Derek put the idea in my head. It's his fault.
Yeah. I feel like his lack of effort in like all of his roles he's taken, he kind of deserves to get a shot to the back of the ear. I'm just saying, just a quick, merciful.
Well, I mean, you don't use a gun. You just have Fat Tony come in and leave one on the back. And
Just leave one on the back, right? And then he'll never show his face in public again. Done.
Yeah.
Nobody gets hurt. Well, not physically.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. The gun might be more merciful, right?
Yeah. At least with the gun, you don't have to live with it.
Other people in this movie are going to be Boyd Holbrook, which I've heard the name and I can't picture the face, but I know who that is. Boyd Holbrook. Shawnette Renee Wilson, no idea. Thomas Kretschmann. Mickelson was talking like it was going to be like a fun sidekick role, and I think that's just him like flag waving. I think he's lying. I think he's definitely going to be like the fucking bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
He said that his character had some freedom in shaping and developing it, and he will provide some comic relief off indie, but also at times be the straight man. Yeah, okay, we get it. Straight man. Okay.
I just like to say that I'm glad that John Williams is doing the music for this. I know he's done with Star Wars, but he's got one more Indiana Jones in him, and that's really exciting.
Oh, I hope that we don't. It's going to be the last film for Williams. Is old as hell too at this point.
I was going to say he's got to be up there too. I'm going to look it up.
But he 100% made a deal with the devil. Like, there's no way he's that talented and has lived this long. You know what I mean? Like, he's also a musician. He may have met the devil at the crossroads and beat him in a fiddle match or some shit. I don't know how the fuck it works.
He's 89.
89. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's pushing.
Yeah, he's an old motherfucker.
Don't put that energy out in the world, man. We need John Williams. We need him.
He's earned his rest. I'm actually. That sounds worse than it. I didn't mean die. I didn't mean he's earned the right to go die. I meant he's earned the right.
He's like a possessed ghoul.
Yeah, they're
that's
taking
been
him out back too. Apparently.
Yeah, like a witch has been making him compose.
Yeah, he's got little puppet strings
to
in his hands.
free the souls of his loved ones for like the last 50 years.
After the movie's done, everybody's 75 plus. They just take out back and just fucking put him out of their misery. You've done well, but your time is up.
I like how the darker that got in Scott's head, the more he started laughing. He's like, for the past like 50 years. It's like Tom Green in his movie, Freddy Got Fingered, but John Williams is the one smashing on the keyboard with his hands on strings. You know?
Yeah, instead of delightful little sausages on the other end of the strings, it's the mortality and the very mortal souls of his loved ones, his families, his wife, his parents, his children. And you know, he has to compose at least 100 bangers for them to be set free.
Let's be honest, he's already composed 100 bangers.
Yeah. Well,
he
didn't read the fine print. There was a time limit.
Oh,
he got re-upped.
Contract's been renewed, Williams. All right, we've rang him as much out of this news story as I think we can. Another piece of a dead corpse being drugged back to life is...
Oh, come on. It's so mean. So mean.
Apparently, thank you, Derek. There's always when I say something like that, and then I watch as Derek realizes what the next article actually is. So apparently, there has been some unearthed over the years deleted scenes from the Super Mario Brothers film. And somebody went ahead, filmmaker Garrett Gilchrist went ahead and turned it into a fully extended Super Mario Brothers cut. And this is 28 years ago. And it's kind of ridiculous. They dubbed the version of the film the Morton Jankel cut, which rolls off the tongue. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it was for a good reason. It was after the co-directors Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel, but it's still pretty ridiculous. The more surprising news to me is that it was released by the Super Mario Brothers Archive, which is composed of a group of fans who celebrate the film and have been involved in the special features on previous home releases. People like this movie that much? Come on, I know we all love it because it's bad, but we know that it's bad, right? Like,
imagine being in a fan club for a 28-year movie that fucking bombed. Imagine being the person they call to do commentary on a movie that no one gives a fuck about besides stoned 17-year-old kids and stoned 34-year-old people. Like,
it's crazy. Like, the endurance that takes, though, is a little respectable. Like, I feel like after year 10, you'd get a little like, this isn't going anywhere, this fan club, right? It's time to just cut the losses, pack it in.
Yeah.
But we're talking about almost 3 times that amount of time. It's quite a feat.
If you told me that there was a James Bond GoldenEye fan club that was still active, like 27 years later, I wouldn't believe you. So I don't believe that this exists. I think this has to be like, where did we get this article from? This can't be real. Yeah. I mean, the cut could be real, but the details have to be a little askew, right?
Or it's probably like 5 people. Like they make it sound like a whole committee. They get together once a month.
I was reading a bit of this article, and they said that a number of the extended scenes, it's 20 minutes of additional footage, by the way. Some of them are just extended scenes, but there's also some new behind-the-scenes ones. I'll read the description for this one. Iggy and Spike rap. They do a whole rap, which Fisher Stevens and Richard Edson wrote about how they want to overthrow King Koopa. They turn from these unthinking comic relief henchmen into anti-fascists in a couple scenes, and then they rap about it. Iggy and Spike are introduced as very broad comic characters, no pun intended, because of that shoulder width, which doesn't always work, but there's a lot more of them in this cut, and you get to understand them a lot more. Yeah, I'm good, boys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was into it until you said that there was a rap scene. And
I'm not watching that.
Instantly just dissolved any interest that I could possibly have in it.
The only time it's acceptable to have rap in your movie is if A, it's Robin Williams doing the baddie coda rap from Fern Gully, or B, if it's Vanilla Ice at the end of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 2.
That was a great rap.
Yeah. But also, the only time it's okay to have Vanilla Ice. Yeah.
Ninja! I can't remember the words. I just remember that.
It's literally just ninja rap.
Well, I remember that part. I was thinking about the beginning of it, where he actually says other things besides ninja rap.
But also, we gotta talk about like whoever built that soundstage, like whoever built that like underground venue. Oh my god, the soundproofing was phenomenal because they're fighting in a construction site 20 feet away, and you don't know there's a full-on concert going on until they knock the wall down.
That's really true, actually.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
It's a good one. It's a classic.
It's just as bad as Super Mario Brothers. Well, maybe not that bad. But
it's not that bad. Yeah,
it has some pretty shitty parts, but at least it's like has iconic imagery. You know what I mean? Like the Toka and Razar, the turtles, and Kino kicking the shit out of those dudes in the fucking toy store.
Oh, that was pretty great.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is when Mikey flips over the countertop and starts saying, "You want a pickle? Do you want a pickle?" And he's like bouncing up and down. "You want a pickle?
Come back, kumquats!" Dude, it's so fucking good.
There's so much shit you guys are saying that like I don't remember, and I'm like, I gotta watch that fucking movie.
I don't know if it was Donnie.
Please.
I don't know if it was Donnie or Mikey, but one of them is doing this. Like he's a
Donnie.
Yeah, he's like,
yeah. He like pushes it and it moves. He's like, yeah. And then like he's just there doing that thing, and the fucking
yeah.
And the guy like pokes him, and he pokes him back, and like freaks him out.
It is really good. And also,
please don't watch along with that fucking movie, please.
Yeah, I'm ready. And also, the intro to that film will make you want pizza like nobody's business. It's nothing but people eating the most amazing looking pizza you've ever seen in your life. It's pretty fantastic. And then all the turtles gangbang April O'Neil, so it's worth watching at the end.
Yeah. I didn't know what turtle dicks looked like when I was younger, so I was really confused. But now I'm, as an adult, I'm mortified.
Yeah, they're forked. Who would have thought?
Nah.
Let's just say
I don't know if that's biologically accurate.
I don't know either. We should.
I have no idea.
Although I do know that we should all be very thankful it's not Teenage Mutant Ninja Ducks, because those guys are basically rapists with corkscrew dicks. Surprise! You're all welcome for the fact of the week you didn't need to know.
Screwdriver dicks.
Go figure that ducks suck worse than geese, right? Who saw that coming?
In hindsight, The Mighty Ducks, pretty insensitive movie title.
Yeah.
really
it's very problematic.
They're really celebrating
problematic.
the rapists of the animal kingdom. Really, what it comes down to.
First the Redskins, and now the Mighty Ducks. Like, where's the line?
All right, before we say something we're not supposed to, moving on from those two throwbacks that are coming to the screen. We have some video game news, actually quite exciting.
Video.
The next entry in the Far Cry series, Far Cry 6 released a trailer. It's a story trailer about the new game. And boy, howdy, does it look it looks really fun. Previous games have been kind of hit or miss for me with caring about the story. They were always fun sandboxes to blow shit up in. But like, I think 4 I liked, 3 I liked a lot. 4 was pretty good. 5 I could take it or leave it. I wasn't super. I finished it. It was fun. Whatever. But this looks pretty great, right? What's the guy's name who's in this? Plays the bad guy in
Giancarlo
Esposito.
Esposito, yeah.
Boom. He's always a good bad guy. He's just got that face. Looks like he's up to something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just a disappointed father.
The facial animations.
He knows you've been watching hentai, but he's not going to say it out loud. He wants you to admit it to him.
He's going to do subtle stuff like ask you if you want like octopus for dinner or something. You know?
Oh no, Dad! Actually, I don't like that. Are you sure? Are you sure you don't like octopus?
I could have swore I heard you say you liked tentacles.
Yeah, it's not what the Internet Explorer cache says, son.
Yeah.
Derek, how do you feel about this trailer and I guess just Far Cry as a whole? Has it tickled you in the past?
So I'll start with how I feel about Far Cry as a whole. I've tried to get into 3 and 4, and it's yet another one of those game series that like initially really grabs me, and then I just get tired of it. Like it just feels like repetitive. You're doing the same thing. Sneak up on a group of enemies, kill as many of them as you can sneakily, and then like nade the rest, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing again and again. The one that I really got into, but also eventually lost interest in, was Far Cry Primal, just because it was so different.
Okay.
Like, it was just really.
I totally forgot that existed.
Yeah, I liked the crafting in it and how you could get master beasts to like fight alongside you and everything. 5, I tried to get into, but like everybody and their mom says that game is better when you play with people. And that makes sense because it's not that fun alone. Like there's just too much everywhere, and like when you're doing 4-player co-op, you can actually plan shit out, sneak up from different angles, yada yada. That being said, the storyline of these games never meant anything to me. I couldn't tell you one character's name or just anything. It's never been something that hooked me. It's just the gameplay initially does, and then I even get tired of that. The story in this actually looks good. The characters look really likable. The gameplay looks fun. I'm hesitant because, like I said, like I've had a couple of them kind of hook me initially, and then I just find out it seems to be like a trend where I just find out that I don't actually like them a whole lot. So I don't know if I'm going to buy this at full price, but when it drops, I'll check it out, or at least wait for reviews. But this trailer did look really exceptionally good. I'll say that.
It did look pretty good. Scott, how about you? Far Cry as a whole? Far Cry 6?
I mean, I was a huge fan of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon when it came out.
Oh, that was good. That one was really good. Yeah, I forgot
that was one. That was one of the most ridiculous, over the top. Like it's like a weird dystopian cyberpunk, like weird kind of vibe going on.
Yeah.
But the whole thing has like the writing and the cutscenes of like an 80s video game meets 80s action movie, complete with like the Schwarzenegger, Predator arm bar grab and like bicep throb.
Yeah.
The whole thing was made to like kind of like mock action movies of the 80s and 90s. I loved that so much. 4 was great. Troy Baker as Pagan Min is one of my favorite villains in the last like 10, 20 years in video games. He's written so well. He's such a piece of shit, but he's so charismatic and likable despite that. 5 fell really flat for me. I got maybe like, I don't know, like an hour or two into it and never picked it up again.
Yeah.
But this looks like it looks like it's a much more interesting world to explore than we've had ever before. And just, oh my God, man, like this is the first time we're gonna be in a proper city with skyscrapers. You know what I mean? Like there's
right, yeah.
There's this is a whole country essentially. Where I know like so was 4. But it looks like the geography is way more varied here. We're getting swamps, we're getting mountains, we're getting like lush cityscapes, and it just looks like it's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun, man. Like, can you imagine like stealing a plane and parachuting out of that plane onto the roof of a skyscraper to snipe someone who's your objective? You know, like there's gonna be
I just saw that. That's coming. Funny. Yeah. Scott and I are so close. I was like, huh.
Yeah, that's the clap of God's ass cheeks, fellas. Just
boys. Just
God's dummy thick, y'all.
Oh, I just heard that one. Wow, look, I'm a little further from you guys. I just got that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just warning out there. If we all lose power and it's out for too long, you're just getting a short episode. So
Just what it is.
Derek and I have work in the morning. We can't pick this up at 11 p.m. at night. Anyway, yeah, it's funny to see different people's experiences with the different Far Cry. So 3, I love. I think Voss was the bad guy. I liked him a lot. And I think I played 3 too close to when 4 came out, because 4 came out and I bought it, but I played like the intro and I was just like, I don't want to get into another open world thing. And Pagan Min, like even the intro of the game and meeting him was really cool. And I didn't put the effort in to finish it. I've never finished that game, so I own it. I should probably go back and do it. And I consequently, because so much time had passed, because I didn't play 4, that I was really ready to play another one, and I did play all the 5. And while it wasn't as great, being set in America and seeing a lot of the ridiculous stereotypes that they put in that game was just fun in and of itself. I actually didn't play multiplayer. I played by myself, and it was okay, but I never went back to it. I finished the main story, and that was it. You know, it's kind of just a one and done.
It looks like the DLC to Far Cry 5 is way out there, though. Like there's like a
Mars one or something. Yeah,
like zombies on Mars, and like there's a bunch of really dope stuff that they did with it, I think.
Yeah, they were trying to go back to like the Blood Dragon vein of just like having fun with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which looks all right. The way that Far Cry 5 ends is pretty intense. It's like camping. Get your dad jokes in here before the kid comes.
It's actually my Reddit handle, intense.
Intense. Very nice, very nice. That's a good name if it's not actually your Reddit handle. And also, if it is your Reddit handle, what kind of madman are you that would give your Reddit handle out on the internet like that?
I never use it anymore. I haven't used it in years.
Oh, okay. All right. You're lucky. You'll find all the risque images you've liked over the years.
All the jizzies that I'm just adding jizzies to.
Okay, shit. Apparently Far Cry 5 has a zombie horde mode, a Viet Cong, like war scenario, and Martian arachnids. For DLC. Sorry.
That all sounds ridiculous.
I mean, I would 100% be for arachnids and zombies.
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel okay killing Viet Cong. That feels a little weird.
Little weird. For sure. No release date for this, as far as I can see. I don't see an announced release date for Far Cry 6 unless I missed it completely. Let me just do a quick juggle before I said juggle, by the way.
You did.
You did. 100%. We all did.
October 7th. Okay, so it wasn't in the gameplay trailer in the notes like it usually is, but Far Cry 6 is coming out October 7th. Not too far off. We will actually have gotten to see, boys, and not in the docket, but super exciting, the 3rd season of What We Do in the Shadows before we play Far Cry 6.
Oh my gosh.
Just
very good.
Throwing that in the middle of it. Scott actually put this in our chat right before we started recording. September 2nd, I think, this year.
Yeah.
September 2021, boys. I'm very, very excited.
Get your sounding rods ready, boys. We're going to edge.
No. No.
Nobody comes till September 2nd.
Oh, too late. Oh. All right. We got some cool news. This is we've been podding for so long that we get to follow up on previously aired stories here. So a couple episodes ago, we talked about HBO Max toying with the idea of launching an ad filled version for slightly cheaper. We gave our thoughts on it. We basically all just said we're okay with paying the amount we are now, so we probably won't downgrade. But they have officially released HBO Max with ads. It's out now. It's only $10 a month, so they chopped it by $5. And they promised, at least, they promised only. Hang on, where I literally had a number for you boys. I can't find this. So 4 minutes of ads per viewing hour, which is the lowest amount of ad time among all ad-supported services. Hulu is egregious with that shit, and watching MODOK I was like, oh my god, I just got a trailer from MODOK while I was watching MODOK. Like, fix your algorithm, please. This is out right now. The new tier is not without a couple caveats. However, they are not going to be doing the day and date releases for the Warner Brothers movies like they're doing for the full service. So, like The Conjuring, which we're going to talk about after this trailer, that's going to be out tomorrow on HBO Max. It's only going to be out in the full version with no ads. It's not going to be out on the $10 version. There will be no access to 4K streams, and the picture resolution is capped at like 1080. But who cares? I don't have a 4K. I don't got money like that. Jake, how do you feel about this HBO Max with ads?
I think it's cool, but you know, that's for you peasants. Okay, I'm good. I have the full. Full blown. Why not just pay? I mean, $5 more. Just pay $5 more and get the whole thing.
Yeah.
Get rid of your Disney Plus subscription and just put that money into HBO Max. Boom, done. Got it.
You know what? I actually think it was a smart decision for HBO, whether or not they meant to do it like this, because people who've really wanted the service are already paying $15 a month for it. And people who are already paying 15, I'm not, okay, it's fine. I've already in my brain given away that 15 as if it doesn't exist every month because I know it's going towards Max. So I'm not going to, whatever, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm not hurting. I'm not $5 short on a bill each month that I need to struggle for. So why would I downgrade and lose these new releases?
Yeah.
And hey, maybe they pick up a bunch of people who thought 15 was way too steep and they just want access to some of that backlog like The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Like Game of Thrones, at least until season 4 when it started to get bad. You know,
that's likely the play is that they're trying to goad people into like, oh, it's cheaper now, and then you realize that you're kind of missing out on the really good stuff, and then you just pay the extra $5 because it's not that much money at all, and then they just get full subscriptions that have everyone. That's probably their game plan.
Clarification for our viewers: by the good stuff, Derek does not mean the Nevers. We'll touch on that later.
I don't mean
or Mortal Kombat or Kong versus Godzilla.
None of these things.
That's true. They all disappointed me so far.
There's been some stinkies.
Or Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's been a lot. Hey, yeah, there really has.
Hey, HBO. Every movie you've released has been shitty.
Yeah, we've been shilling for you for like 8 months now.
I mean, it is a good service. There's a lot of good stuff on HBO Max.
Good.
Let's be real though. Like, it's literally all Warner Brothers and Legendary Pictures' fault, right? Like they're just releasing all these stinkers.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. That Harley Quinn animated show that Derek refuses to watch. It's on there.
It's so fucking good. It's so good.
Just didn't do it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. One of these days you'll be like, I'm bored. What do I want to watch? I'm gonna hate it.
Probably.
I can rewatch Castlevania for the 3rd time. I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that.
Maybe we'll watch it with Ein.
I'm only
this time.
on number 2. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I want to make sure he sees it.
Look at the animation here, Ein. You can really tell they didn't cheap on the frames. That's very fluid.
Einstein loves high frame rates.
He does.
He's kind of a snob for it.
He gets depressed if he doesn't see them.
Yeah, he's kind of a dirty bitch for it, I'd even say.
Scott, you in agreement? It's kind of like good for, cool. It's like another access tier for people, I guess. But
yeah, I have literally nothing to say about this.
Good for you, pores.
Yeah. Why don't you contact Comcast and see if you can pay your bill with your food stamps?
Oh no!
Jesus! Burn! You guys just got burned by the scoot scale.
No,
just kidding, pores. I'm one of you.
Yeah, really.
Scoot scale doesn't burn.
Yeah, we're all pores. But
we're all poor. We just spend our money on irresponsible things like every streaming service that there is.
We're all poors. I'm just less poors than you.
Yeah.
You got your first taste of fresh bread.
Which makes us mortal enemies, and Jeff Bezos our omnipotent overlord, in case you haven't been following the news.
That's true. We're all same team. I mean, compared to the wealth gap, but really, we're all same team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same team. I will step on your back to lift myself up. So help me God.
Same team, but you will coat the floor where I walk before I fall for you.
Yeah. Quick question: like, if we did eat the rich, if we did eat Jeff Bezos, like we're talking like Day of the Dead style, what would you season Jeff Bezos with before you ate him?
Totally unprepared for that question.
Yeah, maybe a little lemon pepper zest.
So so here's why
I'd marinate before I would just season.
Yeah, because he's let's be real. He's generic white meat, and he really needs a good marinade to be anything flavorful. He's like chicken breast, You gotta do something
exactly, like lemon pepper with like real black pepper flakes, or black pepper corn. I mean.
You'd have to like legitimately like put parts of Bezos in a crock pot, and like let it simmer, because otherwise it's gonna dry out real fast.
Yeah.
So the reason
his calves are real sinewy, so you really got to get them to get real nice and moist.
He really lost a lot of muscle mass. We started riding that Segway around everywhere like a piece of shit.
Dude, talking about reasons I enjoy my wife's company, number 3,472. We come in from work yesterday. Total, by the way, ADD storytelling here. And we look over, and there's a guy going door to door selling something. I don't know what it is. He never came to ours, so I guess he's too good.
Was he on the Segway?
He was on a Segway.
Yes.
And my wife looks over, she goes, "Oh, what a douche." I was like, yes, he is a douche.
You should have waited for him to come to your door and just opened up, and he's like, "Hi, sir," and you just push him off the Segway and just close the door.
Yeah, you should have rolled the window down and let him know that he was a douche in case he didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you know?
Just open the door. You're a piece of shit for this, and then just shut the door.
Yeah, it's just community outreach, really. You know.
Yeah.
So back to the really important topic of eating Jeff Bezos. I wasn't prepared like Derek, but the reason I really went silent is because I was as you started that sentence, I thought you were going to go, if we're going to eat Jeff Bezos, which part of him would you eat first? And I was ready to make it awkward and funny by saying the word dick before you finished your last word, as if I was like,
oh my god! I wish you would have done that to the wrong fucking question.
Like,
how would you season a dick?
Sorry, pepper.
Oh, so Chris is gonna come on Jeff Bezos. Got it.
That's my marinade, boys.
No, I know we all hate Jeff Bezos, so technically it falls into the Derek hates it category. I'm not coming on Jeff Bezos. A man's got to have a code. A man's got to have ethics. Unless you're Jeff Bezos and you make your entire fortune off the blood, sweat, and tears of your minimum wage paid ununionized workers.
You should make him think that you're going to come on him and then come on yourself.
I'll teach him.
Just shameless.
That'll show him. Hey, Jeff, do you have a Metallica bar?
You're not worth it, Jeff, and then just fucking 180 and get out of there.
Yeah, no cummies for you, Jeffrey.
They're mine. and they're coming home with me. He stomps out.
Yeah, these cummies are goies.
He's like, okay. These cummies are goies.
Jeff's like, I mean, whatever. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay, you just use your own shirt to clean that up. All right, fine.
Who are you? Why are you in the pantry?
How'd you get past my security? And why are you covered in cum?
It's a real shame that we decided no cum in the title because these cummies are goies. Oh God! Oh, my stomach hurts. Oh, this is what I get for enjoying
Chris is
myself.
He's doing it.
Oh no!
I was close.
No, that was a recovery. Okay.
These commies are goies. I was very choice. These commies are goies. The problem is it's getting funnier, so I might end up crying from it eventually. My brain just keeps these things on a loop. And 5 minutes from now, one of you will be giving a very serious opinion on a trailer, and I'll just start cracking up. And Derek will be like, "I wonder what Chris is talking about," and I'll just start crying. You know, that old chestnut.
Before we get into the trailers, I'm having a little bit of an audio dropout from you, Chris, every once in a while.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
That's okay.
I don't know if you want. I'm sure on your end, it's recording.
As long as we're not losing chunks of your audio in your recording, that's fine.
Now,
there's been a few times we've cut out for a few seconds, and I've just nodded without actually hearing what you're saying.
It's probably peaking in Discord or something weird like that.
Same. And sometimes you kind of look expectantly, waiting, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, I didn't hear him." Now I'm that guy.
It happens to you guys sometimes too. Scott specifically, usually when you yell, but I think it's just clipping. But then the recordings are always fine because it's getting the fresh audio. I'm also really close, so
right. I'm very close. That's where I like to be.
Yeah. So we got a couple trailers to talk about. Oh, I'm sorry. Were we done talking about coming on Jeff Bezos?
I think we covered.
We established he doesn't get any. He doesn't get any. Yeah, he gets no nummies.
Nummies. These nummy cummies are goies.
No, so much worse nummies.
No. I'm holding it in. I'm holding it in. Yeah, see, I'm clipping I can see my audio. Anyway, we have a couple trailers here to talk about. The first one is a French horror film from Julien Maury and Alexander Bustillo. I probably butchered that pronunciation. Called The Deep House. And it combines two things that I never really thought I would see together. and there's some truly haunting imagery in here. It's literally a pair of YouTubers who dive down into a sunken house, and surprise, it's haunted, and they see a lot of spooky imagery. But the trailer I thought was very interesting, and then there's a lot of really creepy imagery in there. Some of the still shots are just creepy. I could think of no better synonym for that. So I'm just gonna.
Can I give you one so that you sound like a smart film bro?
Yeah. Can we?
Yeah. Say they were really Kubrickian.
Oh,
try that.
They were really Kubrickian.
Yeah, reminiscent of Kubrick, even. Yeah.
Okay, Sky, how'd you feel about the trailer for?
No, they weren't.
The Deep House.
I feel like we don't really see enough to know how excited we should be. What I can say is like the cinematography we've seen in this trailer is beautiful. The fact that it is as murky and as dark as it is, but you still have so many different like little, like the color palette seemed very wide for how dark these shots were. I'm not crazy on the idea that it's going to be. It looked like it was going to be found footage for a little bit there, but then we saw a majority of the shots.
It's like a mix, yeah.
I'm hoping that it's not that they lean way more heavily into what we saw in this trailer, which is like beautiful, like the kind of set back wide shots, and then maybe in some of the more interior shots where it would be hard to shoot underwater. With an actual camera, they stick with the GoPros, whatever the fuck they're using. It looks cool. I'll say it. That's really all I got. There's not a lot to go on here, but it does look interesting. It looks like something I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
But I'm sure by the time the credits roll, it'll be, I've seen this before. But hopefully it'll be a beautiful, beautiful version of whatever the fuck it rips off, because everything is just a copycat at this point, right?
There's not a lot to go on, but that's what I liked about it. It seemed like it didn't blow its load in the trailer, like by showing you all the scary ghosts in the house. Like you just heard some really disturbing sounds, and then you saw the high and tight shot of the woman screaming in her helmet or whatever. In all seriousness, I am the resident cunt, of course, but what to me makes it Kubrickian is that there's like this aspect of it where the kind of like the hotel in The Shining, it's like the house has sort of a personality of its own. It's almost like a don't laugh, don't do it, don't think these cummies are goeys yet. All right, let me get through my thing.
Think about it.
It's like 100%. He's biting his cheek. It has like a dark cathedral aspect to it. I just thought that those shots of the house were really fucking cool looking. Anyway, it looks good. Let me just end it there. Thanks, Chris. What are your thoughts? Oh, and there's one rock, just one.
Huh?
Facial hue is changing just slightly. Nothing to really be concerned with just yet, but you can see a little bit of sweat gathering on the brow.
You can really see the vascularity of his forehead when he starts getting worked up like this.
This is like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, and there's the cackle. It's a rare cackle. Okay.
Yeah.
Usually he leans away from the mic. You know it's serious when he goes into the mic. That's the distinction, Scott.
When you hear a cackle, you know he's winding down because he's caught his breath enough to make an audible sound. Wow. Yeah.
The convulsions have usually ended by that point.
Yeah.
We have some tear wiping. Once we get through this, it's usually the last phase. All right. Should be wrapping this up soon.
All right.
And we're done. Okay.
Nummy cummies are going. Fuck. No, I started snickering because of the Kubrickian thing. Whew. And then you said don't start the nummy cummies or goeys thing yet, and my brain just went, oh, well, it's time to start laughing about that now. So have fun crying for a minute.
I see what you mean, though. The house, it seems like the house has more personality than either of the people we saw in the trailer.
Yeah, big time.
But again, like this seems like it's gonna be like something along the lines of maybe, I don't know, what's the movie I'm thinking of? The Descent. You know,
The Descent. It's gonna be, yeah, for sure.
Like I get a vibe like that. I mean, I'm guessing it's probably going to be something like supernatural. It's not going to be a creature, because why the fuck would creatures just live in a house down there, right? Like,
yeah, it'd be goofy.
I'm also kind of interested to see like what is the backstory of this house. Like, what was this house before it got flooded? How did the area get flooded? There's no way someone just built a house down there. This had to be like So, this had to be some sort of
You
like.
can
base
imagine
in
if they did, but a bunch of dummies.
yeah.
I hope you guys bought
That is not going to work
shirts.
out.
Yeah. All the workers keep drowning. It's fucking. It's terrible. No, but like I imagine this was probably like in some sort of like basin. So like an area where water flow was dammed off at one point and the dam broke. Some kind of like weird tragedy. The question is, are they going to go religious iconography? And they're like we see the Virgin Mary tied up to the fence down there. Are they going to go like this was an old mosque or an old nunnery or some fucking like a convent? Or are they going to give us an interesting, unique story as to why this house underwater and what lives there?
Plus, we get to see 2 YouTubers die. Is there anything more interesting than that? Fuck those people. My God, they're unbearable.
I have to fully agree. All those things. All right, boys. We have another trailer coming up. I'm very proud of myself. I started to go in around 2 when Scott started talking because Scott just transitioned seamlessly from commentary about me laughing just back into trailer talk. And just because he was so good at it, it made me want to start laughing again. You know what I mean? But
he did like the theater mask thing where he like switched immediately.
Yeah.
Seamless
commentary. But seriously, the house. And I was like, oh, cool. Proud of you. This is the film we talked about when we talked about HBO Max's with ads. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It released their final trailer. The movie comes out tomorrow. Look, Vera, I always mess up her last name for Mia, for whatever.
I feel like you nailed it.
Yeah, and Patrick Wilson. I love both of them a lot. As Lorraine and Ed Warren, I've liked most of those films. Before we started taping, I told Scott I had some questions for him, and really, it was just going to be like, as a horror fan, how have you felt about the Conjuring series so far? Like, it feels like it's been a really successful modern day like horror, sequence, I guess, series of films. And as a horror fan, like, have you enjoyed them or do you not like them?
I'm not crazy about them.
No?
To be honest. I mean, like the first one has some cool imagery, like the hands clapping, like all that stuff. But it's to me, it's right up there with fucking Sinister. You know what I mean? And like, what's the other one? The fucking awful one with the
one with Darth Maul.
Yeah, fucking.
Was that what? Yeah, okay. Annabelle or something?
No,
it's Insidious.
Oh,
like, these are like a tier.
Darth Insidious.
Yeah, these are literally like a notch above those movies to me, and it's because they rely on those stupid jump scares. Like it's not even jump scares. It's always just like some like twisted little dead lady or something. Like it's, and you think that with Annabelle they flipped the script, but it's just more predictable nonsense. This one I'm more excited about because it actually is going to show a court case. It's based on all their movies, like all the movies are based on real events, but this is the first one where there's actual documented proof that they had this trial. And I'm sure they're going to really they're going to ham it up and exaggerate the fuck out of things because it's a movie. And we heard someone whisper, but it might have been Greg, isn't really going to sell seats, right? So this was an actual case though. Like, and the one line that gets me from this trailer that has me like, all right, fuck yeah, is we acknowledge the existence of God every time we swear someone in on the Bible before we start, we start testimony to have them testify under oath. So why are we going to omit the existence of the devil? And that to me is an interesting concept because if we're gonna do that, then I should be able to say this: the flying spaghetti monster made me do something. You know what I mean? It's like, but it looks like it has some good scares in it, and it looks like it could be kind of a nice change of pace for it to actually have a little bit of courtroom drama mixed in with the cheeky, predictable jump scares.
Yeah. Fun fact: the flying spaghetti monster does force me to go eat garlic bread whenever I can't have spaghetti. Derek, how'd you feel about the trailer for The Devil Made Me Do It?
It looks stupid, and the name is stupid.
I hope that's all he says.
All right, and right back to me.
Yes.
Well, all right then. I wasn't prepared for that. I'm looking forward to it. Fuck you.
I mean, it's
I'm gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it for next week.
Right?
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, but Looks stupid. They all look stupid. This one looks like the stupidest.
Oh, Bully Joe, we almost forgot.
What did we almost forget?
Oh, I know what you're doing.
Wait, what's he doing?
Army.
Oh, we didn't do it.
They did.
Yeah, we didn't do it. Okay, cool. Well, that works out because we only have like one more trailer to talk about, and then we're going to get into our main topic.
Yeah.
So their last one is yet another horror trailer that released. This actually came out today. There's a movie from District 9 director Neil Blomkamp about, well, I don't really know exactly what it's about because the trailer is very mysterious. The movie's called Demonic, and it comes out August 20th in theaters. It's a movie. The trailer told me like nothing. Like there were some random images. They gave a synopsis in the article, which I will read, but the trailer felt, I don't know, it felt like intentionally mysterious to like hide what's going on a little bit. But Scott, how'd you feel about this trailer? Did you like it? Hate it?
I mean, it literally looks like Evil Within the movie to me.
Oh,
like I'm not just saying that because I just finished playing the game, but I did, and it's fucking like you see her like essentially booting like you would in the Matrix in the beginning, and you see like the reality upload around her, like how Neo would see it go from ones and zeros to actual physical shape.
Right.
It seems to me like maybe they're using some kind of weird shared consciousness to to help diagnose mental patients, and she gets stuck with somebody who's possessed by a demon and not mentally ill.
Oh, that sounds cool.
That's what I'm going from. That's what my basic instincts were when I saw this. My basic impression was that's the hopeless optimist to me that they would do something cool like that.
Right.
It's been done before in movies like Jennifer Lopez's The Cell, where she goes inside the mind.
Oh
she goes inside the mind of a serial killer trying to find out where his next victim's going to be.
Kingpin, bro.
That movie is fantastic, dude. It's beautiful and it's horrifying.
Dude, it's also, like horrifyingly beautiful. Like it's like like terrifying, but you can't look away because it's just so fucking well done. The room where
the room where he like is the king on the throne, when he stands up, he starts walking,
and
the cape is all along the walls, and it starts dude, like that movie saw it's like the people who did the design for that movie saw The Haunting and were like, fuck you, and then just did that instead and did it 10 times better. It has like that weird crazy dude. Anyway, that movie's a banger, but I'm hoping we might get something that's kind of like a modern retelling of that, but with obviously the name Demonic, there's gonna be a demon. So that's
spoiler alert.
One can imagine.
Yeah,
at least one,
or they could be more directly correlated to something along the lines of the Evil Within, where like she's in this person's subconscious who's crazy, and there's like whatever their mind is manifesting, whether it's an actual demon or they could do the real hokey thing and say that like her disease or her condition has taken the form of a physical person in her own head, the voices in her head have physical form and one of them is demonic.
Right. Or see, I saw the title and I immediately thought, oh, this is a live action adaptation of the fake video game that they were making in the movie Grandma's Boy called Demonic.
Fucking wish there
nice
was
death spike.
Yeah.
Nice death spike. What an immediate reference to that film that I was not expecting.
You dirty dopers. Yeah. Fucking.
That's 2 weeks in a row we've referenced Grandma's Boy, actually. We're doing good, fellas.
Yeah.
That means we're on top of our game, I think.
Yeah.
So the synopsis for this film says, a young woman unleashes terrifying demons when supernatural forces at the root of a decades-old rift between mother and daughter are revealed. It's incredibly weird and vague. I have no idea what's. But
I like my synopsis better.
Well, I mean, there's clearly some kind of computer generated like she puts on a cap and it looks like they integrate her into some digital world and like there's something weird going on. And I'm looking for. I mean, he's a sci-fi director. He's given us a bunch of sci-fi films, so I'm hoping it is very much some creepy shit like that. It looks pretty. Derek, how'd you feel about it?
Here's my thing with Neil Blomkamp. I love him. I think he like frames shots well. I think he does special effects well. Like the thing is, like with his first, I think it's his first movie, right? District 9 was his debut. Yeah. He had like a real life sort of allegory, like a message to say within it that was really he did really well.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's felt pressured with all his movies since then to also have a point, and like shoehorning that point in, almost the movie suffers for it. Like,
that feels fair. That feels like a good read on his
like it
situation.
takes away from the movie, because then it's like stuck to the metaphor or the message it's trying to make, and it's like you can just write a movie. Like, not everything has to have a secondary meaning. Like District 9 did, and it was great. Just make a good sci-fi movie. I hope. Neil Blomkamp is one of those directors that, like, you know, you see District 9 and it's like fucking M. Night. It's like you saw 6 feet under. Fuck, what's it? The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, this is the next big director. This is the next big thing, and then it's just fucking
I know what you mean.
after stinky
It's
dinker.
disappointment because it's like, you know, there's greatness in there somewhere.
Yeah,
Just got to figure out how to get it out of them.
just pull it on out.
Yeah.
But so I hope like this is just a movie that he just like takes a concept and does something interesting with, and it's not like, again, has some secondary meaning that the narrative of the movie ends up sort of being like tied down to, so it suffers for the sake of the message. If he kind of just like writes an interesting movie, and then I'm excited for it. This trailer looks really good. It looks really creepy. So it hooked me, honestly. But then again, so did Elysium and Chappie, and those didn't really do it for me. So I don't know. We'll see.
Now, do you think, pure speculation, obviously, do you think after the District 9 success and sort of the pressure to be the guy that puts in the message along with his films, do you think he imposed that on himself? Or do you think the studios were like, okay, cool, we like your movie idea about a space station and someone trying to get there. So what's the social aspect? Like, what's the commentary on? Do you think they like, well, you're the guy that does this is your thing.
You got the big brain in there. It's probably both. Like, it's a little bit of both.
Right,
like,
a little column A, little column B.
Can I ask you a serious question, Derek?
Yes. Hello.
What the fuck do you think the serious message of Chappie was?
I never watched Chappie.
I never finished it because I got bored. I just got bored. I tried twice. That we don't like people that are different.
Yeah, it's true. I hate Die Antwoord, whatever the fuck they're called. The Antwoord. Fucking hate them.
Yeah, they do kind of suck, don't they?
Yeah. But he also is like the kind of guy that, like, if you saw him, you're like, yo, you suck. He'd just stab you to death and go about his business. He's very scary for a guy who's like 130 pounds.
Yeah, he has those like hook eyebrows. He's always angry.
Yeah, he's got
Antwoord. I think it's D Antwoord is how it's pronounced.
He looks like he would drown you in like an inch deep mud puddle while fucking you in the ass, and he wouldn't care if he finished before or after you died. He'd still finish. You know what I mean? He's got. Yeah,
he wouldn't even keep track.
All right, it got dark. All right, boys. I guess we're ready to transition into our.
My favorite thing is when like Chris is like so horrified that he doesn't even laugh at what I say.
Yeah, he's just like, okay, let's keep moving.
It's okay. It's never been egregious enough for me to be like, yeah, I gotta cut that. I've left in, listeners, just so you know, I've left in more than these guys have been comfortable with at certain points in our history. Yeah. So, all right.
There's been at least one segment that we all collectively were like, let's get rid of that whole fucking thing. And we did. All right, I'm gonna go pee.
Wait, what was it?
Let's not talk about it.
I'm not going to say it out loud. I'm just trying to remember what the thing was. Are you staying or are you going?
I'm going to go grab some beers.
You unplugged. Okay. I know where you're going. Mm-hmm. You're going to creep on me, though?
I mean, I'm going to listen.
I'm going to listen.
Love you.
Oh, what's up, Velma? How you doing, girl? Velma 1, Velma 2. Anyway, how's it going, guys? Thanks for listening. I appreciate you. If you're here, most of this is probably redundant, right? Let's be real. If you're here, you're already listening. You already know how to get to the podcast. You already know that every episode is going to be filled with the same recycled fart and cum jokes every single week. That's all we can talk about. We got cum on the brain. Nummy cummies, not goies. Look, you can catch us on Facebook at facebook.com/thecynicalnerd. You can find us on Twitter at the Cynical Nerd. We got that handle. We're still celebrating. We need to up our post game a bit to be more regular with it. You know, really, we need like an Activia for Twitter, so it keeps us regular. That makes sense, right? Yeah, you get the joke. You can also email us at questions@thecynicalnerd.com. If you have something on Twitter you would like to ask us, it's hashtag AskTCN. And if you have a comment or correction, or you just want to tell Derek how handsome you think he is, hashtag #FuckTCN. Get it? You're smart people. I know you are. Scott, what do you got to drink?
I got some strawberry lager from Abita Brewery.
Tasty?
Yeah, man. Ice cold. It's been in the freezer for like 2 hours. Mm.
That's the best when you pick up some beer and you have time to let it sit in the refrigerator for a little bit. There's nothing colder than your home personal refrigerator. You know what I mean? It stays cold enough in the store, but it's not cold enough. We all know.
No, like I there's a trick I do where I wrap a beer in like a wet paper towel.
Yeah. And
I put it in the freezer. It kind of like flash freezes the beverage, like the can. So you get like a nice ice cold crisp beer. You leave it there for about 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
Room temp to frozen.
Room temp to frozen.
I mean, not like frozen solid, but like ice cold. Like those old Coors Light commercials. Like remember back before you had a sip of beer and you're like, oh man, that must be so good. And then you had Coors Light and you're like, so my uncle ruined his marriage for this. Like what?
You died of alcoholism after drinking cases of this all day?
Yeah, really.
Really? Yeah, man up.
Yeah. If you're gonna lose half your shit, at least drink Coors Banquet beer. That's all I'm saying. Again, a man's gotta have a code.
Or Miller High Life, because it is the champagne of beers, you know? That was my first beer that I ever tried, was Miller High Life.
I would rather drink a pint glass full of piss than a warm Miller High Life. I'm not gonna lie.
Again, that was from Bob. That's the second Bob reference. He handed me my first beer.
Does Bob listen to the pod?
I don't think so.
Oh man, that's a shame.
Maybe I'll tell him to check this one out. He'll have to wade through all the cum and fart jokes to get here, but if he can grin and bear it, he'll be rewarded for his efforts.
Yeah.
Shit. I had a story to tell you, and I totally blanked on it, which is why I'm glad that Derek's back, so I don't have to sit here and mindlessly.
Can I tell you guys something horrible that I did? Like yesterday.
Okay.
I'm not gonna disclose what I do for a living. Most people who know me, who listen to this, know me personally, probably already know what I do for a living. But I had this lady. I was dealing with her and her daughter. Yeah. And this lady like left me with her daughter for like an uncomfortably long time. Like
how old was the daughter?
I don't know, like 5 or 6 or something, like a little fucking girl.
Oh no!
And the whole time I'm like, please don't start crying. I'm just like I have like this soothing music on the radio, like all like pop hits, nothing loud, nothing scary. I'm just sitting there, and this lady's gone for like what feels like it had to have at least been 10 minutes, but it felt like a fucking hour.
Right.
I kept like looking like, how long is "Hit Me Baby One More Time"? How long is this fucking song? Why isn't this lady back yet? So she comes back. She's like, it's like I almost left her with you. I'm like, that's a terrible idea. She's like, why? I'm like, our neighbor's a sex offender.
No, oh my god.
Oh no.
At that moment, I was really, really mad, and I just wanted to make her feel half as uncomfortable as she had made me feel for that. Like,
you should have just turned around and made eye contact and said, "I'm a sex offender," and then just fucking put it in drive and just went.
No.
Oh no!
It just blows my mind. Like as a father, Chris, and as a soon-to-be Papa Bear, in like 48 hours to 72 hours, depending on how horrific and nightmarish the next few days are for poor Ron.
Yeah.
Not even a joke. But could you even imagine leaving? Like, I know I'm not a threatening guy.
I never would. Never.
Yeah. I just don't understand. Like, some people just should not be parents. And like, I know for a fact I would be a shitty parent, and even I wouldn't do that. Like, that's fucking crazy.
Like,
here's strange, fully grown man. Hang out with my 5-year-old daughter for like 20 minutes.
I don't.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't care how nice the person comes off. If I've met you, if I've known you for less than an hour, there's no way in hell I'm leaving my. Hey, the ones that are good at taking children are the ones that are really good with kids, right?
Yeah.
So like, let's be real. I don't know you.
I'm not saying Mr. Rogers was a pedophile, but if we found out that he was, wouldn't we all be like, oh, okay.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Leave Fred alone.
All signs, and I even watched the movie based on him with Tom Hanks and watched like a documentary, but all signs point to him genuinely being the real article. Like, loved everybody. Like,
well,
we all
know Tom Hanks eats adrenal glands, right?
Wait, what? What am I missing?
Yeah, he eats kids so he stays young, or I don't know, something. Like,
Yeah. He's got to scare them first so that they're ripe.
Jim Varney tried that. Didn't work out.
He just paints himself the same color as his wallpaper and goes, when they walk by. And it's...
I just picture him like in full David S. Pumpkins getup. Oh my god.
Oh.
So listeners, if you have children, please be responsible parents. Don't leave them even with a normal stranger, because that's terrifying for your child and the stranger who,
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think's going through the little kid's head? Like, there's no way my son would be okay with that. He's a mama's boy. I mean, he's 2.5. He loves his mom. There's no way she could leave him with a stranger in a car. He'd be like, no, I'm not. No.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. If that little girl would have started crying, I probably would have started crying too.
This is shared trauma for both of
You
us.
should have just turned Britney Spears up. Just like,
Yeah.
let's
The
try
little
this
girl's like,
out.
my mom's never coming back. I'm like, I know. What are we gonna do?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not good with
it's
kids.
time for you to get the fuck out of my car. Sorry to hear, but you still gotta go.
Yeah.
All right, please. So I moved this first topic up to the top because of the last article in our week in review. They go hand in hand. So we're going to talk about the show first and then talk about the news article that kind of really wraps it all up. So a couple weeks ago, we had talked about the release of a new show on Netflix called Jupiter's Legacy. And by all accounts, the trailer did nothing to make any of us think it was going to be any good. But
Chris, before we go forward, can we fix whatever's going on your mic? Because you were just gone for like 15 seconds.
It was a good cut for a minute there.
It's probably just Discord doing it. I'll keep an eye on my audio, and you can tell me if it happens again. And if it's happening again, I'll look at my audio feed. Anyway, so
it just happened again.
Wait, like it's happening. Wait, keep telling me. Is it happening right now?
You have to keep talking.
We'll just be like, no. Yes. No.
Yeah, if you can keep it constant, then we'll be good. So Jupiter's Legacy came out, and a couple weeks ago, the trailers did nothing to sell it for us. Like,
no,
they did not look good, and we all decided we would still give it like an episode or two, just to see what we thought about it. And so it's not good. Like, I think I can very safely say, all on the same page, not a good show. But there are still some things that interest me a little bit, to the point where I'm gonna finish it. I'm on like episode 5. I'm just gonna tough it out because I want to.
You realize it ends on a cliffhanger and there's no season 2 coming. Right?
I heard that too. That's fine. I'll just look up the series like I usually do with things I'm only marginally interested in.
It's not great.
It's not great. The visual effects are like Sci-Fi Channel level visual effects. They do not look good. The costumes are piss poor. A lot of the dialogue is really bad and cheesy.
And the thing is, I love Josh Duhamel and Leslie. Leslie, what's her name? Bibb?
Bibb sounds right, I think.
Yeah.
Is that Lady Liberty or whatever her name is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
she's an absolute stone cold fox, man.
But the thing that has
even with the shitty gray wig,
the thing that kept me watching past the first 2 episodes, and I was the themes of the show. And I know they're kind of been done, right? And we've dealt with this in other superhero mediums, and to some extent, although not really the same at all, but somewhat in the same vein, Invincible, with like dealing with the expectations of parents in a family where multiple people have superpowers. But the first episode ended, and I found myself kind of interested. Like, okay, this kid's got a superhero father, and he's trying to fill his shoes, but disappointing his father. But he's trying. He just did what I would assume was the right thing and still got scolded. The mother's a stone cold fox. I'm just kidding. Although she is.
Can we really talk about like what a babe Leslie Bibb is, though?
She is. We just call her Leslie Babe.
Leslie Babe. Yo, I would spit shine her golden compass any day, boys. Just let you know.
no. I've been staring. It's been looking totally okay. I have a feeling it was Discord that's been cutting out. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't like that you're like looking at your this whole time.
I know it's freaking.
I like to look in your eyes.
I'm dumb. Well, okay, hey, I'm dumb because I could totally just drag my stream window over to my main screen, and then I could look at it while I'm looking at you guys.
Oh, you goofy boober. What are you doing?
I am. Just call me a goofy boop. All right, there we go. How's that? Is that better if I'm looking at you like this?
Yeah.
And now I can still see my mic input. So it's just, I don't know. There was something about it that it just brought me back. I don't know. It wasn't like I said. The show's not good. It's not good. It's got shitty visual effects.
I just want to clarify. Her golden compass is for butthole.
Okay. What's true north in the butthole?
So she bleaches it. Okay.
No, it's golden. It's like a golden compass, golden brown. You know.
Yeah. Well, I've got the golden ticket. Scott, how'd you feel about what you saw of the show?
I watched it. I watched the first episode a while ago, and I already forget everything that happened in it. Like I remember him overhearing his dad be like, "Oh man, I wish you never got powers or something." But then I had like that thing like, what, didn't Mark hear that too on Invincible? Am I like having like a weird? Am I crossing over, remembering parts of a better
fair
show?
Play. No, you're
watching
right.
The
you're
shitty
absolutely
show?
right. Yeah,
it's just. Excuse me. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like it's casted well enough. It just wasn't written very well. I don't understand why this property was a show in the first place. And what really shook me to the core about this article is that he wants to get another franchise off the ground, literally out of the ashes of this botched fucking TV show.
Hey, we haven't even gotten that yet.
He wants to do something called the Super Crooks. Could you have a shittier, more generic Walmart brand version of the Suicide Squad? Could you do it? Could you do it?
I mean, you could try. I don't know if you'd be successful or not, but you could certainly try. Like,
I don't have to hear anything besides the name Super Crooks in order that, like, it may get greenlit for a season, but it won't be coming back. So how the fuck does this shit get greenlit is my question.
Because Netflix will greenlight anything and then just cancel it immediately. That's what they're known for.
I wish I wasn't such a lazy piece of shit, because I know I could write better things than half the shit we watch. I wish I had like the focus to sit down and actually write something. I feel like anybody, listeners, any one of you could sit down and write a better script than 90% of the horseshit we're forced to watch for this show. The Nevers, we're gonna get there. We're gonna fucking get there. But Jupiter's Legacy, I feel like it hurt me just as much as watching the entirety of the Nevers to watch one fucking episode of it. I hated it that much. And the thing is, I love the cast. I even thought the main villain, like, he had cool, interesting makeup, and like, I don't remember what the fuck his name was. He wasn't memorable aside from his big
Black Star.
Yeah, he had a big wonky like Robin Williams Popeye face going on. You know what I mean? Like, he had like
prosthetics were like fucking. It's so weird that all the costumes were so bad and his prosthetics were so good. I didn't get that. That had to be where like 50% of the show's budget went is into his facial prosthetics. It was like, I mean,
paying Josh Duhamel was probably the other 50%, right?
Yeah, 1.5 went on the costume design. Oof, we can tell. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Derek, how about you? How'd you?
I went into it. Seeing how dumb the costumes looked and how dumb the wigs looked, and thinking there's no way I'm not going to hate the show. Like, there's just no possible scenario in which I won't think that this is corny as fuck. And then I saw, like, again, the sci-fi channel tier special effects, and that kind of solidified that. And then, like, these themes started to emerge that I just couldn't help but think were really interesting. You have, is his name just Utopia, or the Utopian?
Yeah.
Who's like was like a middle-aged man in the 20s, and I don't know why yet, but he turned into a superhero and he's still alive in the modern day. And so he has like these old values. Like, he has the code he always talks about. We don't kill, we don't, whatever it is. We don't get involved in international affairs, yada yada. And so you have his son, who in this is all in the first episode. We all watched the first episode. Okay. His son, who sees that, like, basically Black Star had killed two of his teammates, his friends, like young kid friends, and was about to kill his mom and dad, and was like, all right, fuck the code. and killed Blackstar. He just punches his face off of his head. And his dad has the audacity to get mad at him, even though he saved all these other people in the superhero crew and potentially the area or the world by breaking this code. And I just loved that conflict of like tradition versus like the new ways. Like I just thought that, I don't know why it just infected me. And I just thought that was cool. And there was a conversation between the Utopian and his brother, whose name escapes me, where they're kind of butting heads.
His brother's superhero name is Brainwave. I don't remember his actual name.
Yeah, something like that. And they're having this conversation over a beer where basically Brainwave or whatever, his brother, is like agreeing with the fact that his son had killed Blackstar. And he's saying like, he says this line that just like punched me. He's like, you know, I always regretted not being more involved in World War II. And it's just it makes you think about like, we joked about last week about how Steve Rogers was alive for 9/11 and didn't do anything about it. But it's like, in all sincerity, I mean, you watch and you read these comic books, you watch the movies, and all they do is fight supervillains. But it's like there are actual real world things happening where millions of people die that they don't get involved in. And it's like in this show, it's because the Utopian has this code. Well, we need to leave the humans. We need to give them their free will. But it's like, do they really have free will when they're being murdered by the millions systematically? It's like, I just loved those questions that it made me think about. Where like, I understand his position where it's like, well, humans should be able to just kind of deal with the shit through, legislature and whatnot. But it's like, at what point, like, what's the line where you go like, hang on, we need to step in and fucking stop this shit? I just thought that it asked cool questions, and I was surprised by that. How much are you done watching it, or are you going to watch more? I think I'm halfway through episode 3, and I am going to finish it, even though we already popped the cherry. It's all but canceled at this point. There's likely not to be a season 2. But yeah, no, I just kind of want to see what happens. Can I spoil something very minor? Yeah, it's not a story beat. It's like a story. It's like along the lines of like the World War II thing. So they have the funeral for the kids that died, and Utopian he actually goes to a therapist. I forget at what episode. Like he sees a therapist, and this guy knows his whole history. You know, it's all confidential. And he's talking to him, and he's talking about the conflict between him and his son. He's talking about the conflict between him and his wife that's starting, and the conflict between him and his daughter Chloe, who wants nothing to do with their family. And the psychologist is like, so you have them all follow the code that you wrote. He's like, in essence, you're really just saying it's all about me. And because you're making them follow your code that you wrote and getting mad when they don't live up to it. And he's like, what, do you just call me a giant narcissist? And he's like, I'm not saying you're a narcissist, but like you're trying to achieve like immortality through this thing that you made that you're forcing upon others. Mm-hmm. And there's just a lot of really cool, I don't know what you call it. It's like the World War II line. It's the type of thing that you don't expect to find interesting in a conversation that someone brings up and you go, oh, I never thought about that. You know what I mean? Like it's like the little juice sprinkles in a story that make it good. There's one other thing before that therapist scene where the Utopian's talking to, I don't know if it was the therapist or like someone else. And he goes, you know, my son killed Blackstar or this clone or whatever it is. And he's like, you know what the worst part is? 78% of America thinks he did the right thing. Oh yeah, I saw that part. Yeah. They're at like a rally or something, and people like booing him and like cheering for his son, and he's like, we have to be above this and do the right thing. And like, I just the whole conflict of him, like, I just think it's interesting. And I've said this before, but one of the reasons that I tried to get you to watch that one Superman animated movie, Superman vs. the Elite, is because it deals with the same kind of thing. Mm-hmm. These new superheroes show up and they're like, basically, you're old and out of fashion and your ideals don't work anymore. And you know, you're a product of the bygone era and you need to disappear. And it's kind of the same feeling of like does Superman work in the modern world? Like, can he still stand for something?
Well, let me ask you a question. Who do you think is the most dangerous rogue in all of the DC villains? Who do you think is the most loose cannon? Who do you think is responsible for the most carnage?
Ooh.
I don't know. This is a Chris question.
I mean, on a massive scale or like citywide type stuff? Like, am I going Dark Side and Brainiac, or am I going Joker and because he's?
I mean, I was implying Joker.
Okay, that's fine.
Think about like how many people Joker has killed throughout his run in comic books and animated movies,
right?
And it's like more than you could probably count. You know what I mean? But you have to wonder, at what point is it Batman's responsibility for having
murk him, right?
Well, no, because like you think about it, like Batman has his code; he doesn't kill. Very much in the same way that as fucking the Utopian doesn't fucking kill.
Yeah.
But how many thousands of lives does it cost him because he doesn't want to compromise his integrity?
Yeah.
How many lives is your integrity worth? Is the question. And that's kind of what you're touching on. So I would venture to say that Batman's kind of a
kind of a piece of shit,
and kind of a little bitch.
I would say an enabler instead of a pussy, but okay, fair.
No, I mean, I would
tomato.
I would say that Batman's selfish because he wants vengeance on his own terms. But you know what I mean? Like
he prioritizes his code over the lives of innocent people. Yeah.
Let me just tell you that
I think any hero that does that can go fuck themselves.
The nerd in me is so excited that we're having this conversation right now. All my hopes and dreams combined into one. No, that's always one of the better questions that they ask themselves in the story. So another good DC animated movie is Batman and the Red Hood. And it's because I'm sure, I don't know how much you know about it, but Joker murders Jason Todd. Yeah. The third Robin. And he gets brought back to life by the Lazarus Pit, whatever, magic thing they want to use. And he comes back and he starts killing villains in Gotham. Just hardcore. And in the movie, there's this amazing scene where Red Hood has captured Joker and is fucking beating the shit out of him. And Batman comes and saves the Joker from Red Hood. And he pulls the mask off and he goes, you always followed your code and I always knew why you did it. And I always, he's like, but he took me from you. Like, I always thought I would be the reason that you would kill him. Like, and you didn't, and he was like pissed at Batman because he was like, I thought I meant more to you than all this. Like, you let him kill me and he's still alive. He's like, and I'm back to fucking finish the job. And that's one of the reasons that movie and that arc is really good.
I just think that I think it's irresponsible of Batman and any hero, but specifically because I mean, like, again, like Marvel is more like big, like as Derek said, like the Snidely Whiplash, like they're always like so cartoonish, like, and I mean, like even like in what is it, fucking Amazing Spider-Man? He wants to turn everyone into lizards, really? Okay, fuck off. They're always like so cartoonish. It doesn't seem like it's just an immediate threat. Like they're not out there just butchering people. When people die from Marvel villains, it's usually like fallout, or they had a specific motive to kill that person. It's not like mass hysteria like it is for the Joker in DC. Or like imagine you're just in line at fucking TD Bank and you get frozen solid by Mr. Freeze. Right? Like the hairdryer ain't gonna cut it. You're fucking dead. Like you're dead after 7 minutes. You're dead. Your fucking brain dies. Unless you're
Batman's just like, sorry for your loss, which was yourself, but I'm just gonna put cuffs on him. I'm gonna bring him in.
Yeah. I'm gonna trap him in the safe and take him back to Arkham. Like,
he's gonna get out in 4 weeks.
Yeah, really. And then he's just gonna freeze everybody at the fucking dog park. Like it doesn't. I mean, like that always drove me crazy.
But that's why that's the thing that I think is interesting about that show is it's like taking that issue head on, where it's like, is it really heroic to not kill bad people?
No.
Like this dude, Black Star, was gonna kill all of them, and the only person who stopped it was the kid who decided to break the code. Like this old tradition, who gives a fuck? He saved all these lives. Like he's right. Objectively, he's right. But it's just like, to us, he's right. Right? In this generation, like we've been conditioned to think of things that way. But it's like in the past, I don't know. I guess like heroism was seen differently. That's what's interesting. It's like this generational difference.
Yeah.
It's like this push and pull between the old ways and the new ways. And I was so surprised that a show that looked so bad was asking questions that interesting.
That just fills me with a blind rage because the old ways were always easier for everybody. You know what I mean? Like people, there was that. It's like when somebody criticizes a college student working 40 hours a week at a temp job and also going to school 30 hours a week part-time to get their fucking bachelor's degree. And they're like, well, if you didn't buy so many goddamn Starbucks coffees and fucking, if you didn't play your video games,
blah blah bootstraps.
You can afford a house. It's like, no, well, you got a house for like 30 grand because you worked at a hardware store for 20. Like, what?
Yeah. No. Yeah, I know.
The bully working at Home Depot in the lumber department ain't pulling in enough to buy a house, fellas. But you can't tell your grandpa
but
back
he
to
is pulling them out in the bathroom because he's got to.
What I'm saying is, when you watch Jupiter's...
He keeps them kumis for himself.
What I'm saying is, when you watch Jupiter's Legacy and you watch him punch the face off Black Star, it makes you feel like someone's getting a hit on your racist uncle at every Thanksgiving you couldn't take a swing at him. You know what I mean?
Yes. No, really. Like that's a funny way to put it, but it's seriously.
Perfect.
It's like...
Yeah.
Like, it's like
shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Here's how we do things now. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
There's more stuffing. Go grab seconds. Eat shit. Suck a dick.
It's such a weird.
It's Pride Month.
It's such a weird thing because I can't recommend this show to anybody because it's not good.
It's not good.
But if you're bored and have nothing else to watch, and you want to watch a superhero show that maybe asks some interesting questions, sometimes.
I couldn't hear it.
Check it out.
Yeah.
And we'll wrap up that conversation by saying, by the way, it's canceled. It's probably not coming back. All the actors got released from their contracts. So we still talked about that for much longer than I expected. So good job, Jupiter's Legacy, I guess. I'm on episode 5. I'm gonna finish it.
I'm gonna finish it just based on Derek's. I didn't even think of that, honestly. I was probably honestly I was so checked out by about 20 minutes in that I didn't really retain much of what happened besides the face punch.
And that's how I felt. Honestly, the first half, I was like, fuck, man, how am I even going to watch 2 episodes of this?
Yeah,
and by the time I saw sort of the direction it was going, and I'm like, I got to watch one more. And then 2 continues. I won't spoil anything, but it continues those themes, and it makes me think, okay, well, this has to be the central sort of guiding theme of the show, which makes me just want to watch it, even though it's doomed now, but whatever. Yeah. It is what it is.
All right, boys, we have another Netflix show to talk about that is also wrapped, but not because it was canceled. We're talking about Castlevania. So Scoot here has finished season 2, and we're here to discuss that. So I'm going to start off with Scott, I think, because he was sending me some mixed signals, and I'm not sure how he felt about it overall, and I'm very interested to see what you ended up with. How'd you like it coming out the other end? Was the juice worth the squeeze?
The poop?
Wait, poop?
Well, I was okay. Hang on. Let me explain myself. I was gonna say was the poop satisfying? But then I was like, wait, juice worth the squeeze? Sounds better. Whatever. Okay. I fucked it up.
I thought you were gonna ask me if my Chipotle was worth the shit. I was gonna be like, yeah, it was.
It always is, isn't it?
Yeah, it always is. I gotta be honest, man, the first few episodes were very slow. It was very soap opera because it's just a bunch of petty vampires who all think they're hot shit bickering for 3 episodes straight. From the moment that they killed fucking... Oh, God.
Godbrand. I'm a fucking Viking.
Yeah. From then they killed the Russian guy from everything. It didn't slow down. It did
no.
The thing is, I loved how they mixed in little bits of lore from the games into this.
Yeah.
In really cool ways. When they're in the library, you see one of the skeletal snake monsters from Super Castlevania 4. One of the regular enemies just hung up as an artifact. They had killed it, but put it back together and kept it as just an example of what they look like. I thought it was really cool to see how the castle moved. I thought the final 2 episodes were fantastic. Mostly the 7th episode.
Oh, Derek is so happy. Yeah. Look at that smile.
The 6th and 7th episode, first and foremost, Carmella is a fucking strategic she's a cunt. Yeah. She's a conniving fucking bitch. But to have him reanimate a priest so they could bless the river was the dopest that was straight out of a Bollywood war movie. When you see the fucking giant blanket soaked in kerosene shot with fucking... You ever seen that?
No, but
there are Bollywood action war movies that make 300 look like a piece of shit. They literally hold Zack Snyder down and hawk a loogie and suck it back up right above his face for the entire 2-hour runtime. But this reminded me of this. It was so much so much that went into it leading up to it, and when it finally broke, dude, like I thought that was brilliant. I did not expect episode 7 to go down the way it went down. That was a very emotional ending.
Super emotional, yeah.
Spoiler alert, Dracula ain't dead. He always comes back. There's like 15 Castlevania games. He always fucking comes back.
That's true.
You know what? I looked it up. I was like curious after I watched, like, how many Castlevania games? And that was the number in my head, 15. There's actually 40. There's 40 fucking Castlevania
fucking
games.
way.
Yeah.
Including remasters?
That's way too many Castlevania games.
I don't know, but only like 10 of them are good, so.
I might have to start diving into Castlevania now that I've beaten every Resident Evil in existence.
I kind of want to, dude. I was thinking that. I think I'm going to jump into Symphony of the Night. But anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish your
No, it was just I didn't expect to be satisfied as much as I was. It feels like this show didn't know
That's
it was going to get
I'm sorry. What? Continue. I don't know what happened. I blacked out.
I feel like you just channel Steve Carell sometimes, and it's just like
Yeah, but like before he was not funny anymore, right? Maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
yeah.
I was hoping you just would have stayed silent. It would have really sold it for me.
Yeah, like anyway.
right. What were you saying again, Scott?
No, but it feels like every season they didn't know if they were going to get renewed for another season. Like it feels like they meant they left it open-ended and ambiguous. There's still people out there doing stuff at the end of the season, but it feels like they also they tied up enough threads of the story that it felt complete. You know what I mean? It felt like it could have been a finished product had they not gotten season 3. It feels like every step of the way so far in both seasons I've watched this show, they weren't sure what the fate of it was going to be. The first season feels like a movie that's kind of disjointed and chopped up a little bit, which was obviously just a pilot, right? It was just a really long pilot.
Yeah.
I think and then,
I consider season 1 and 2 like season 1.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
But it was really satisfying, man. And like I kind of felt like them having an entire episode to tie things up post mortem. I expected to be bored shitless by it, but it was actually kind of cool to like to see where things, and that's why like it kind of feels to me like they're showing us where everybody is. But it's also there's nothing that feels like it doesn't have to keep going if they didn't get renewed. You know what I mean?
No, that's a really good point to make. I didn't think of it like that, but it does feel like that. And I would even go so far as to say I feel like season 4 is an absolute banger. I feel like from start to finish, it's firing on all cylinders. And I think it might be because they knew it was their final season and they're like, fuck it, balls to the wall. It is excellent. 3 is good, but it's much in the way of 2. There's also a lot of world building going on even in season 3. And you know,
I think they do a much better job of it in 3 though.
I agree.
Because season 2, the beginning is a little like I found the vampire politics really interesting, but like there were parts I pulled out my phone and was like, you know, whatever. Like so it's kind of the same conversation again and again. Yeah, season 3, I like. And the fucking voice acting in season 3 gets so good. Bill Nye is in season 3.
Oh, right.
The science guy, Victor from Underworld. That Bill Nye.
Hang on. Hentai Face from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Hentai Face.
And he's so good. But without spoiling anything, of course, I actually, season 4, every episode, like seasons 1, 2, and 3 have like setup episodes, and then the last 2 are like bangers, like action, holy shit, you know. And then season 4 is all just action, and it's amazing. But I actually, season 3 episodes 9 and 10 were my favorite of the entire show. They were so fucking incredible. So I hope you will continue to watch this show.
I will. I have to say though, like as somebody who played the games growing up, seeing the mace hit vampires and then them being like emulsion from within was one of the most satisfying things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And like the thing is, like serious animation is always much harder for me to get into unless it's something I watched when I was younger. Like Cowboy Bebop and Trigun will always be chef's kiss. But it was hard for me to get into Invincible at times until I really got into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's way easy for me to watch something stupid like fucking Rick and Morty or even though Family Guy's a piece of shit show, it's so easy for me to put that on and zone out than to watch something that's animated and serious that I have to focus on. But this, I mean, the world building wasn't bad. It felt like it was a little bit too Game of Thrones at points. You know what I mean? Like, secret meetings in the garden. It felt like an episode of South Park where they're having all these meetings in the guy's backyard. It's like, what the fuck are you doing in my backyard?
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna betray you. He told the other guy he was gonna betray you. You know, it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, it just felt like so. Yeah, but I mean,
how did you feel about? Let me just ask you. How did you feel about Sypha cutting that dude in half from balls to skull?
Oh, that was fucking dope. Yeah,
so fucking
that
good, dude.
But I gotta say, Trevor Belmont is my favorite character.
He's
on the
great,
show.
dude.
He's pretty great.
That's the voice of Thorin Oakenshield from The Hobbit.
Yeah. I'm brain farting right now. But when he gets his
Morningstar.
Morningstar.
Yeah, that's so good.
That was fucking awesome. I mean, a little too convenient that it was just in the broken shell. He's like, this can't be. Like,
this like shimmering golden chest that's just like there. Nobody looted that yet. Like, okay.
Yeah, like who broke the shelf and was like, nah, fuck that. I'll take
we
these
don't need
books.
that.
Yeah.
Hey, this is based on a video game. Come on.
Got these encyclopedias. Why would I need that? Not in that chest.
But Sypha teleporting Dracula's castle over top. Dude, I loved that, man. I thought that was fucking awesome.
And like obviously, like they didn't expect that. Like so. The holy water is just wiping out a majority of the forces on both sides. It was fucking awesome, dude. But again, like that trap was one of the most clever I've seen. I think, and like it was on par with the best of Bollywood, which I know doesn't sound like a compliment, but I sincerely mean it as one.
I still remember messaging Derek and going, "Holy shit!" like in all caps. Season 2, episode 7. Holy shit! And at this point, it's been such a long time since I watched such a long time, but. At this point, it's been long enough since I watched it that I don't really recall exactly what made me go, holy shit. But I know it was combat related because there was some juice fucking combat in episode 7. And I remember being like, oh my. It just felt really clever and inventive. Like they found so many great ways to fucking murder vampires. And some of the shots are just gorgeous.
Yeah, you sent me that the night before I was in the hospital. So I was like, oh, I got to go to bed. I can't wait to watch episode 7.
Oh, I remember
And then I was
that.
in the hospital for a fucking week. So I had to wait. And then I finished the whole show in like 2 days. But yeah, it's great. Season 3, I'm going to no spoilers, of course. I think that season 3 is an improvement on 2 in every way. I have issues with 4, but it's not that it's not good. Like it's not like, oh, this sucked, but we'll get to that, of course, when you finish it. But
I can commit to watch now that I'm not watching the fucking Jupiter's Legacy, and now that we don't have anything else on the slate to watch this week, do we?
No.
Well, aside from the Devil Made Me Do It, right?
Devil Made Me Do It, yeah.
We'll think of something, I'm sure. If you guys have time, you can watch The Old Guard. That's worth. It's definitely worth.
Sure, I just would request that we maybe make things late. I don't know what kind of week.
Yeah,
we're about to have,
dude, believe me, listeners. If we don't have an episode next week, just don't. He's having a kid. For all we know, we might plan a time, and then the time will come, and you're going to be like, listen, the baby's crying, Ron's tired, I'm going to go help her. Like, whatever you need to do, believe me, it's totally fine.
Yeah, you really cut out for about 90% of that, but I'm going to assume it was all.
No.
I'm sure you were supporting me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, then I can definitely say it was Discord because my levels have been fine. Anyway, I basically said, like, whatever you got to do. It's totally okay. Like we might plan a day and it just might fall apart because the baby's upset and Ron needs your help. And right. So, whatever happens, listeners, they will understand. We have more stuff to chit chat about. I don't even know if I want to talk about this next one.
No, we gotta.
We do.
Okay, so I've watched all of a show called The Nevers. I'm worse for it as both a person and a father and a friend. I think it made me a worse friend somehow. I'm not quite sure how, but I'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, you're kind of a shitty person now. I've noticed that about you.
I think I'm the bad friend because I made us all watch this.
You didn't make us. I said I would watch it because you said you were going to watch like one episode, and then my morbid curiosity. I don't know. Turned into Derek. I just like the abuse. I watched all 6 episodes available right now, and we had the big twist TM. And you
want to break it down for the listeners what the big twist was?
Yeah, so it started in the future, right? This Victorian era show started in the future. Aliens. And one of the people in the future war, I don't know, maybe we'll call it the Tomorrow War. That sounds like a title that's not been taken by Emily Blunt and Tom Cruise. And something I don't look. There's a bunch of really stupid plot devices that turn into an event where this future warrior's consciousness gets sent back in time and infests Amelia True to the point where like the person that was Amelia True is gone because she tried to kill herself, because they show like a 20-minute montage of how she hates the fucking dude she married and was miserable and jumps off a fucking dock. Remember, she's in the water so she was trying to kill herself. And like the moment the real Amalia True stopped breathing, like her consciousness came back, and that was what came out of the water. And then she goes to the loony bin because obviously she's like, "Hello, love. I'm not supposed to be here." So it's funny that there's one neat thing.
Love that so much.
There's one neat little thing where I forget the future person's name. I'm just gonna call her Future Amalia, even though it's not Future Amalia. She's
her name is like Stripe or something.
So, yeah, that sounds dumb enough to be right. She's not British, so while she's in the loony bin, she's talking like an American. And to get out, they're like, just play the part. If you look like you're sane for long enough and you're on good behavior, like they'll release you. So she like perfects a British accent over like this little montage, of course, and like befriends Malady and kind of like tells the guards that Malady's batshit crazy and like it takes focus away from her. Shit, whatever. The show's bad, dude. I don't even. Why am I still talking about it?
Just end it. Like I'll be honest. Like up until this final episode, it wasn't great, but it did some things that were interesting.
Right. And it was like, yeah, I totally agree.
It was like it wasn't good, but it was like some of this works. Some of this works if it was written by somebody who wasn't like a basement dwelling pretentious incel who somehow became a pop culture sensation in the mid 90s, it would be fine. You know what I mean? Like if someone else took this idea and ran with it, if it was turn of the century X-Men, but like, I don't know. Never mind. It would suck no matter what. But it's way worse because Joss Whedon did it. It's 10 times worse because it oozes with the weird, creepy, pervy. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
it does. Yeah.
Like there had to be a sex scene that in no way like moved the narrative forward. Nothing happened besides someone coming, and we still have to watch it like for like 45 seconds. It just reeks of 40-year-old incel, right? Like just Domino's pizza boxes and BO that you've given up on years ago. And I could have forgiven all of that if it didn't do the future flashback nonsense. I turned this episode off, the final episode off, in the first 10 minutes and never turned it back on. All I saw was future. I was like, nope, we're done here. So I'd like to thank you, Chris, for sitting through the entire final episode that I couldn't do.
Real honey. I also couldn't.
Yeah, and I'd also like to, again, I know we all have free will here, but I did say I will watch the entirety of that other show that I forget the name of. If you guys watch this, what was it called?
I thought that was the thing because you watched all of Dark. We said we watched the Nevers or something.
No. I liked Dark, but it was that other show with like the fuck. Ooh, excuse me, with the scar or whatever it was in the middle of the place.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shadow and Bones.
Yeah.
Okay, fair play.
Yeah.
I disagree. I don't think there were redeeming things about it, other than that. What's her name? Penance was just adorable.
She was,
but
very
she
adorable.
didn't do anything interesting. She didn't do anything that made sense. I think everything, like the whole show, is just people talking. Like they wanted to be Game of Thrones, where it's just like interesting conversations between interesting people, but none of the people were interesting and none of the conversations were either. It was just like people talking and you didn't care about fucking anything they were saying the whole time. And it was always like every episode, it's like the Lost formula. It's like every episode, it answers a question, but it raises 10. And at some point, like that gets frustrating. It's like, all right, I'm getting lost now. Like this is, no pun intended there. It's like, it's just too much. So I actually, halfway through episode 3, turned it off. And then I read the synopses for 4 and 5 because I just could not bear to sit through them. And then when I put on episode 6 when it was in the future, I'm like, is HBO Max like fucking up? Like what? Like is it giving me the wrong show or something? Like
I thought the same thing, and I was like,
that's fucking great.
Like, am I? Like I'm a little drunk, but I'm not that drunk. How the fuck
Yeah.
did I? How did I?
But
end
then
up with
when
this?
all
What
the
is this?
conversations were really dumb and boring and didn't mean anything or like result in anything, I was like, no, this is the Nevers. it's
I have to
just
say
not
though,
a good show.
I thought Malady, although she is literally a female Joker, I thought they did some things with her that were interesting. They did the pick, the choose in episode 2, where she had to choose between the life of the girl who sang, whose name I can't remember because she was inconsequential, and the pretty blonde who invents things, whose name I can't remember because I don't care.
Is that Penance?
Yeah,
Penance
probably.
and Mary. I don't know why I remember those, but I do.
Yeah, but I thought that little bit was cool, and then the way that she like deals with it by like shooting herself instead, I thought that was kind of interesting. I like the setup, and I did not expect that move.
I thought that sucked. I thought it was like, here's a third option, Shabuti. Like,
Well, I mean,
what?
Whoa.
Shabuti.
Where's Coheed at?
Yeah. But I also liked the Malady twist where like she was a reporter. She had let herself get captured and then had broken out or something. I didn't follow the entire thing, but I know that the reporter had gone to visit her to get an interview in prison, and that she had, you know what I mean? She had like switched places.
Yeah.
Which was fucking weird though, because the lady still committed suicide. The lady who wasn't Malady, like essentially jumped, willingly kicked the lever and jumped, but also had a bunch of lines of dialogue. Like what? It didn't make any fucking sense.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I think of it, now that I'm actually putting it together sober, I hate it. Yeah, it's bad. You're right. It's all bad.
I'm glad you can come to this conclusion live for the podcast.
Well, no, I'm just trying to think of it. In episode 5, they like their big reveal at the end of the episode is that Malady wasn't really Malady. The one Malady who got executed wasn't really Malady. She had that female, the lady reporter had gone in to visit her in prison, and she had apparently taken her place, like switched places
She was
with her
like
somehow.
posing as her or something. Yeah.
But why though?
But also like if the lady reporter was the one who got hanged, why did she willingly hit the lever and jump and like say all that shit about like she's on her way to meet the devil? Like what?
That's what I mean. None of it makes sense. It's all like, oh, what if it wasn't her, but it was someone else?
Well,
what if she
Malady
killed herself? It's like, but
yeah.
why?
So,
What's
but
the
if
fucking
she
motive?
had switched places with the reporter, why did the reporter look and act and talk like her exactly? What was the reporter's motivation for dying in the stockades? What?
Malady clearly hit her with her Joker toxin, and it made her crazy.
Also, I gotta say, this show made me look at Malady's titties, and I'm real mad about it. It wasn't good.
Yeah, no.
Mm-mm. It's like if the Pillsbury Doughboy was just stacked, you know what I mean? But like big blue veiny milkers, you know, just like the worst titties.
All right, boys, this show's terrible. Don't watch it, please. Save yourself just don't watch it. I was gonna give it a conditional, but just don't watch it. We have one more topic for today, and that's because we keep forgetting to talk about it. We all watched Army of the Dead from Zack Snyder when it came out, like that weekend. We were all live watching it. We just haven't talked about it. I don't want to go first. I don't want to.
I'll go first because mine's quick. I actually don't have much to say. I thought it was good, but that's it. Like good, like 7 out of 10. I thought that the sort of what do we call it when we're talking about Train Busan? Like there's always like rules to the zombies in every zombie movie, and I felt like they did switch it up in this one enough that it was like kind of interesting with the alphas, and then you have the quick ones and the slower ones. Like all that stuff was cool, offering sacrifices so that the alphas would like kind of leave you alone for a minute. That's cool. You don't see that a whole lot. I like that, you know, we were complaining initially about how, like, in the trailer you see zombies embracing each other, but the dumb ones don't do that. It's just the alphas that do that. So that kind of like, I don't know. I didn't hate that. I felt like the characters were likable enough. Like, They weren't very likable, but likable enough. I'm holding this screwdriver threateningly, by the way. Like, this isn't, I'm not just holding it. Like, I want you guys to feel.
Oh, okay. I do feel
scared.
Unsafe right now.
Yeah.
So it's working.
I thought it was really interesting how, I'm going to ruin this name. Is it Kip?
Which one?
The pilot? It's her real name. Kip or...
Oh, Tig Notaro.
Tig, that's it. Tig Notaro. That's it. They actually had Chris D'Elia like do all his scenes, and they were like, that guy's a rapist. We gotta, we gotta put someone else in here. And so they green screened her into the movie.
Chris D'Elia was supposed to be in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the pilot. They reshot every scene.
Wait, Chris D'Elia was gonna play that part?
Yep.
And they
that would have been so bad. Oh my god! Thank God he's a rapist, right?
Yeah.
Well, I saw Snyder talking about it, and he said that like Tig also like just made up most of the lines that she said. Like, most of them were just ad-libbed, and some of them were actually kind of funny. So like good job.
She wasn't bad, but it was funny. Like Dave Bautista was saying how like they share scenes together. He's like, I've never met her in my life. Like we've never been in the same room. So like all those scenes were just spliced together with green screen, which I thought was pretty interesting and well done because I didn't notice.
Yeah, I didn't notice at all. That's props to Tig, man.
Yeah, but it was a fun movie. I mean, I'm gonna forget everything about it in 2 years, but for what it was actually pretty well done.
Notorious T.I.G. I'm sorry, I take it back.
You should, yeah.
I thought this movie was boring. I didn't hate it. It was way too long for a zombie movie. It was like 2.5 fucking hours.
Way too long. Way too much of a build up.
I did not also I didn't think I was gonna, but I didn't mind the alpha thing. It didn't really bother me. The helmet was a bit much because he knew we could get domed, but whatever. I accepted it, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't get. It was too predictable for me. Like every zombie movie, I just expect everyone to die, and everyone fucking died. But like one person, even Bautista, who I thought was going to make it out, and actually,
no. I mean, well, actually, yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah, even Bautista, who I thought was going to get out and like maybe reconcile with his daughter for real, as opposed to having like a 30-second reconciliation and then turning into a fucking zombie, who then had to get shot, causing his daughter more trauma for the rest of her life. And then the cheesy like tag on at the end of the guy who was in the vault, who's like, it's how long does that bite take to set in when all these other people are turning in like a fucking hour, and this guy's fine for walking through the desert, driving a car to an airport, getting a private plane. Like,
I mean,
that was way too long for the infection.
I mean, if that's something you want to nitpick, we could also talk about them just moving up a nuclear attack. We don't want to do it on the 4th of July, so we're just going to move it up to 2 hours from now. Like, there's no fucking... Do you realize how uncoordinated every facet of our government is? They couldn't evacuate that area within 48 hours, let alone 2 fucking hours. It's ridiculous. That was such... Like, that to me was the biggest issue I have with this movie. Like, the alphas, I thought I was going to hate it. But when they explained that it's like they had to be directly bitten by patient zero to become alpha, it makes sense, because when you see him with the long hair, that's the original zombie that broke out in the initial opening. So only people who are directly bitten by him become alpha. Everyone else is just like a fucking dumb doo-doo dickhead. You know what I mean? Like standard zombie.
Can we just call him like King Cockblock for ruining that just juice roadhead that was going on in the beginning of the film?
No.
Totally cockblocked that guy.
I mean, if we think about it, like, let's be honest. That guy wasn't a looker, and his girlfriend was probably missing teeth. Oh. That methamphetamine fueled suck job started the apocalypse, right?
That meth fueled vacuum.
They certainly deserve to die for one sin or another.
Well, I mean, he was already going to get hepatitis from that nasty bitch slurping on his dong. At least he died a quick.
Yeah,
and we'll call it a noble death, right? He died with his dick and well. Also, on impact, on impact, you know she bit down, right?
Oh no!
Yeah, big time. Yeah, I've seen American Gods.
L'Hoim!
I've read American Gods. It's a good book.
Oh wow, you just kind of went up to me a little bit there. You kind of sandbagged me.
Hey, did we have a conversation last week about how pretentious people are always like, I read the book.
That's exactly why I did
With
it.
Chuck Palahniuk.
Because I realized that for once I was gonna I never get to do that. I never get to do that.
If we ever covered Harry Potter, you could do that, right?
That's true.
I could do it for some of them too. You're not alone on that one. Can I just say that I read this theory? All right, and it's one of those things you read the headline and you think it's going to be dumb, but then you read it. There's actually some like credence to it.
Are you gonna? Does it start with an R and rhyme with robot?
Are you going to something about robot zombies?
Yeah.
No. I wasn't. I didn't read that one. But the time loop theory. There's remember in the middle of the movie, what's his name, Van something is talking to the German guy about how like, what if those are us and we're stuck in a time loop, blah blah blah. There is so much evidence throughout the film that they actually are stuck in a time loop, and that this is the fourth iteration of that time loop.
What?
The only one that I remember. All right, the only one that I remember.
That's very specific.
I almost shouldn't have brought it up because I don't know enough to like justify it through an audio only medium. But no, the two that I remember, I'm sorry, are this. That the woman who remember the guy who throws the glow stick to get the woman killed?
Yeah.
So that woman has on her necklace a pendant, a key that has 4 circles on it. And one of the skeletons down by the vault has that same key, but it only has 3.
Oh.
And then the guy that was like the streamer who like kills zombies for a living or whatever. When they get in there are 3 of his exact gun in the vault. Like the same like AK that he has are in there. But there's a bunch more like shit in there that alludes to it. I first read that. I'm like, oh, this is some dumb fucking mouth breathers fan theory or something.
I mean, it could have just been that Snyder did that to like make it like an inside joke for people to find.
Yeah, probably.
I mean?
Just like Easter egg shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I do recommend reading up on it. It is interesting enough to kind of go like, oh, okay.
You think it makes it worth a rewatch to try to find this stuff though?
Did you? I wasn't kidding. Did you not see the robot zombie stuff?
No, I did. I didn't read it, but I did see that there
are a couple zombies that they kill.
They have robot eyes.
Yeah, or like Terminator face going on. And someone interviewed Snyder, and he was like, "Yeah, there might be a couple zombies that are, who knows? Like maybe they're planted there by, the military or something." Like it was. He alluded to something going on with that, like because for the same reason that what's his name wants like an alpha head because he could sell it to the highest bidder to use it as like a bioweapon. He was alluding as to like the military had like robot zombies in there, like monitoring what was going on or something silly like that. But
right.
The only Easter egg I caught on the first watch through was the Dark Side Omega symbol on the guy's chest. He had it tattooed on him. Van, I think, the guy that ends up in the plane at the end.
Yeah.
He's apparently
Van Horn or something.
Yeah, apparently that's his actual tattoo. And Zack Snyder was like, "Yeah, no, we won't cover it up. It'll be a funny Easter egg that like I also directed Justice League."
Oh shit! All right, I didn't catch that.
Nice.
Oh yeah, is when a guy has his shirt off, the first thing I do is inspect his pectorals. Very close.
Let me see the tits.
Yeah. Let me just see that. What kind of nips you got? Like big, areolas, small?
I gotta say though, man, I thought this movie was gonna suck. I thought the alphas were gonna ruin it before I knew what they were. But the fact that they kind of just behave like primates, like it seems like they mimic.
Yeah.
Like it seems like they've. My theory for the helmet is that they've seen people come in to the place, you know what I mean? And they're probably wearing armor of some sort, like protective gear. So this zombie probably killed one, took it off their head, and now wears it when he's, going out to battle. They seem like they operate like primates. Like very Planet
of the Apes type.
Well, I mean, like just regular primates at the zoo. Like they have like a certain level of intelligence, but they also most of what they do is through mimicry. Like most of the things that they do that still seem human are because they're now in the state and they're watching of the other humans that come in and sneak in and like mimicking what they see them doing.
Which would make sense because you obviously have like an entire industry of like the coyote like sneaking people in to get shit and get back out. So her hanging back to die was the worst, most unbelievable part of the movie, though. It's like, why? Why did you stay behind? It didn't make any sense. The coyote, the blonde chick.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was like, you get out of here. I've got the head. It's like, just go with him. Like you can just go with him. Like, what are you doing?
a lot of the script choices annoyed me. I like the movie was fine. It was too long, but just a lot of the character choices. I was like, that's dumb. Why'd you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta say, man, the zombie tiger scene where that thing fucking shreds him up was juice.
That was pretty
Very
juice.
good. Very good.
I like the hibernating zombie bit too. It's been done more and more lately. In like I think 28 Days Later does it. I know for a fact they do it in The Last of Us. It's like when zombies when they have no external stimuli, they just kind of go into this weird hibernation mode.
Yeah.
I love that, and I love that they were forced to like sneak through.
Yeah.
I thought that was like kind of cool, but I just hate the whole heist thing, man. I feel like if they went in there for any other reason other than the heist, it would have been more interesting. And maybe it's because we just watched Train to Busan Peninsula, but to me, like when you're in a situation like that and the carrot on a stick is just money, it's like, wouldn't it just be easier to like buy a printing press?
Yeah.
And fucking, you know what I mean? And like slip somebody some bills on the bet. You're gonna give these guys divided amongst them $2 million.
Right.
Why don't you just slip somebody at the National Treasury $2 million for some fucking plates, and then you print your own illegal bills, bro? Like, what the fuck? Like, what was the point? Like, what like I get that for him there was very little risk because he was just sending people in, but also like, why wouldn't you just go in and take the money and never fucking like? Why would you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking, I would have iced the dude who got the tiger death from the fucking get go. Like, soon as we're in,
that bothered me too. Like, he's there to fuck you guys over. Like, just fucking get rid of him.
Yeah. Have any of you guys watched a movie? Because you should all know he's the fucking betrayer.
Yeah. You guys are in a movie. Have you seen one of those before? Like,
before we get too far away from it, I want to say, because I forgot to mention, this is kind of my last point. The one thing about the movie that I really liked that almost is non-existent in zombie films is like, there's the hibernation thing. Like, okay, when they're like, they haven't fed and there's no stimulus, like they just sit there. Like, why would they? And then there was the same thing, like the ones outside that are baking in the sun, they like die.
Yeah.
And then once it rains, they actually come alive for a couple minutes. I hate in like The Walking Dead is the worst offender. Like, these fucking zombies haven't eaten for like years, and they still for some reason like have the energy to just like, even though their muscles are falling off their legs, like literally just bone on an entire leg, like, but they're somehow walking on it. It's like, that's not how like energy use and conservation works whatsoever. Right. Like, not that I understand we're watching a zombie movie, so there's a certain amount of like suspension of disbelief, but it's just so unbelievable.
What's pulling that knee up if there's no muscle attached to it? I get it. I get it.
That's why I actually like The Last of Us zombies. Is they're like based on they get their energy through photosynthesis. There's like a actual realistic explanation behind it. If you have something that's still surviving off of eating and they haven't eaten in fucking years, why would they be able to move at all? Why would they be alive?
It not have died off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know I've said a lot of like negative things about it. I didn't enjoy it. It's just like a couple of the typical like tropes, like some of the plot stuff was just not well thought out for me. One thing I will say that did bother me a decent deal is every time anyone sprayed with a machine gun, they got like 6 headshots. They were like, and you would see like they would just, and I'm like, get the fuck! I don't care.
Well, I mean, if you have like a 32 round clip and you're literally just like keeping it at one level, I mean, most people are between like 5'6" and 6'2", right? Like, you're gonna have a very small margin for error if you're just doing a straight line across.
I don't know. They're running away from zombies and shooting like one-armed. Yeah. And there's like 17 coming to the door, and you see, and I'm like, come on, dude. I don't know. It felt like. Oh,
you know what they did well though. Now that I'm thinking of it, is like reloading. Reloading was an actual like issue. Yeah. Which in every other movie, it's just like another way. Like, that's not how that works. It takes a couple seconds.
I just counted. You shot like 60 bullets out of that.
Yeah.
I have to say though, the girl who got she got the glow stick death.
Yeah.
Her determination and her fight choreography in that scene where she's literally knifed, like she gets caught and knifes like 4 back to back.
That was sick.
Before the rest of them wake up. And then her entire like run and gun sequence there, I thought that was shot and executed almost flawlessly. Like that's like it was the John Wick of zombie scenes.
I was gonna say it was kind of John Wickish.
Yeah, it was dude, it was fantastic. And I think she was probably my favorite character in the movie, which of course means she had to die second, right?
Yeah.
Or,
I actually thought she was going to get away for a second.
She died first, if you don't count the rapist as a human being, which I don't. So yeah, R.I.P. Pour one out.
That's true. I forgot.
Oh, you said pour one out. I thought you said pull one out. I was like, wait, hang on.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
How do you guys celebrate Haley Page's birthday?
I can't. Nope. Can't digest that one. Well, we're done, boys. We're right out of topics. Can I suggest that we have the image can still be super silly, and we'll figure out what it's going to be. Can I suggest that we have our maybe one and only serious episode title, and it's like episode 32? Congratulations, Derek. Can I suggest that as the title for the podcast this week? Just as like the one serious nice thing.
I mean, you can, but it's not funny.
Okay, well I know it's not supposed to be funny.
Maybe when I have my baby, right? Like maybe that, right?
Okay, all right.
This is like pre-congratulations, Derek.
This is all just coming out because I'm tired and don't want to think of a funny title is really what it comes down to.
I mean, well, the question is, you are MFD, right? So we have to crown Derek's new Papa nickname. It can't just be like Papa Ryle. We got to think of like, what is Derek's daddy nickname going to be?
Second most fuckable dad. Easy. Got it. SMFD.
SMFD is you rolled that off the tongue so well.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You really did.
SMFD. It sounds like
can the title be second most fuckable dad?
Yeah, I'm down with that.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Episode 32, second most fuckable dad. I'm even gonna put like two little stars over the U and C, so it looks like we bleeped it, but we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know what it is.
No, we know it's there.
All right, boys, let's wrap this bad boy up. We're actually, I thought we were gonna be a little shorter this week because our topics were not super long. We're 2.5 hours, bullies.
Oh yeah, we are. Like
we don't stop. We don't stop with the cynical nerd. Anyway,
Can't
again,
won't stop.
We recorded this on Thursday. It's probably going to go up normal time, like Sunday. But you know, hopefully at this point, when you're listening to it, Derek is cuddling his new baby boy. We're very excited for him. And on that note,
or
Derek,
scolding him already. I don't know.
I mean,
maybe he did something wrong.
They're never too early to start. When he just to set expectations, as soon as he comes out, just diminish him a little bit.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
just take him down a bit.
Lesser, right? That's what I was thinking. Just right out of the puss. Just
I don't know what Scott's doing with his hands, but I want to know what's going on. oh, okay. My dumb brain didn't put his image and his background image together in one plane of existence.
Oh, okay. It took me a second.
I was just doing my Doctor Strange thing, bro.
It looked like you were summoning something, and I was like, oh, he is the asses.
Yeah, I'm summons the Cummins, bro. You guys never pull one out for a dead porn star on her birthday? It's so rude, man. Can't believe you guys.
No, I haven't. Derek, where can everybody find you, buddy?
You can find me on the street. I made that joke one time. God damn it. You can find me on Twitter at Dr. Gloom MD. That's DRGLOOMMD.
I like how you held that note out. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Scott, how about you? Where can everybody find you at?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter. I'm Swearwolf with an E. SWEARWOLFE. I'll be streaming Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 9 p.m.
Nice. What have you been streaming lately?
The Evil Within and a little bit of Dead by Daylight.
How do you like Dead by Daylight?
It's not great, but I'm the You want to go aheid?
Somebody just go. Like just one of you.
I'm determined. I'm determined to let it grow on me a little bit, because I feel like part of it is it has kind of a learning curve. There's so many different maps, so many different killers. They all have different abilities at this point. I'm so far behind on the curve that it takes me like playing a few matches against the killer to learn like what I should be worried about, to play the map a few times before I know like where I can go to juke them, how I can hide.
That's true. Yeah.
Spawn points for generators and stuff. It's also very repetitive, but I feel like it's one of those games where when you play it with a good group of people, it's really fun.
Yeah.
But when you don't, there's no point. You know what I mean?
It gets recommended to me on Steam like almost fucking daily. So I was like, man, maybe I should check it out. We still have to play.
It's cheap. Oh,
Hunt.
Some
all right. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at TCN Plays. I stream all the time, but I stream boring like RPGs that aren't fun to watch people play. They're just fun for me. I do it for me. I'm selfish.
Yeah.
You might be SMFD. I am too. It's just selfish. Most fuckable dad.
Now, Chris may be a selfish streamer, but he's not a selfish lover, ladies.
No, I'm not. I don't keep this.
He's also taken, ladies, fellas.
That's why he's the silver fox, because he always comes second.
You can pull one out thinking about him, but you can't touch it.
All right, boys, it's going to wrap up episode 32 of The Cynical Nerd, second most fuckable dad. We will catch you. You know what? We'll catch you guys next week.
Just at some point.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Undetermined day. But we'll catch you.
I'm going to Google Haley Page's birthday.